Hey, what's good? What's happening? Welcome to episode 62 of the Bacchanal Podcast with your host, K to the C, and...
It's your boy, AK, holding it down, North Carolina.
It's we got a special guest. Right now. Yeah, a special guest in the building. We got Akil.
What up, Ant? You gonna introduce yourself? You gonna be
Did
quiet?
I miss my cue? Okay.
Yeah, you missed your cue. You're way off. Hi.
Hi, guys.
Hi, everybody.
Returning guest, right? You were on before?
Yeah, it's your boy Stokes. Fuck J. Cole.
And still, fuck J. Cole. So how's everybody
same
doing?
energy.
Yeah, you know it.
Good, man. How are you, Ant? You go out for Black Friday?
Oh yeah, man. I got the PlayStation, the Spider-Man deal.
The Slim for $199.
Yes, man. And then I got a laptop, a gaming laptop for like $600.
Nice.
So I'm broke right now, but I definitely did my thing.
Everybody thought they were Slims. Everybody was saying it was the pros. They're like, yo, the pros are going for $200. Yeah. I was like, what the hell? There's no way it's the pro. Yeah, but that's still a great deal with Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, Spider-Man. I'm liking it so far. Just about finished.
I don't know anybody who got the VR system though. The VR was going for cheap too, right?
I couldn't even.
I couldn't find one.
Yeah, they're going for cheap also.
I saw
Here they're
regular
$250.
price.
Here they're $250. They're usually like $349 or $400.
They're $299 here.
Oh, okay. So it's probably $2 by you with the two games, because we had it for $299 with two games, Moss and some other one.
I think ours just came with Doom. There's like a Doom pack you can get, like Doom VR.
Doom is fire.
That's all I've been seeing. I know they're working on Borderlands 2 VR.
Okay.
But I think that'd be too crazy though for
That would be great.
Too much madness.
And it has the co-op in there too?
Yeah, so we'll see how they execute that without getting motion sickness.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, man. Embark on two Trinidadian Canadians' journeys, exploring games, movies, comics, and all-around foolishness. One, an American perspective, and the other, a Canadian perspective. Join us as we discuss this week's geeky news and all-around foolishness. Open your ears and tighten your butt cheeks. You're in for a hilarious and informative ride.
Embark as Casey struggles to read the intro for the Bacchanal Podcast. And first of all, you even let me say what I did this week, so fuck you, Casey.
We're gonna ask after.
No,
We're supposed to do the intros first.
I've been shopping.
Sensitive ass nigga.
No, fuck you guys. So I bought Split, James McAvoy with all them personalities. What else I got? Tom Cruise running again. Mission
What is that?
Impossible.
That's the 7 Joe?
I got Rogue Nation, and I got Ghost Protocol. And then
Rogue Nation was alright. Ghost Protocol was fire.
Yeah, Ghost. Yeah, that's the last time Paula Patton looked pretty. Crazy man.
Nah.
Yeah, bruh. Have you seen Traffic?
I'm looking it up.
She started looking crazy after that film, and then she did an interview with Decent Miro. Her hair was all blonde, and she looking handsome as hell. That shit ain't for me.
Some niggas like that though.
Nah, bro, I ain't with that handsomeness. I don't like my ladies handsome.
Right.
I got Ready Player One 4K Ultra Blu-ray. Picked that up at Target. Then I got the Black Purge. What y'all know about the Black Purge? That's the first Purge, where it's a bunch of white people versus black people. The best one, man. Oh, and I bought some games. I got Soul Calibur 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked up Dragon Ball Fighter Z for the Switch. $20 each. No, $35 was for Soul Calibur, and then $20 for the Dragon Ball. That's Amazon, baby.
Hey, you guys had some good deals.
Yeah, my bank account is paying for it.
Hey, and you know what I always say with Black Friday? Don't let Black Friday become Black Saturday, Black Sunday, Monday through the rest of the month, because you spent all your money and you can't pay that light bill, and every day is black.
I might have.
So yeah, don't do that to you. Don't play yourself for Black Friday. What do you guys have going on in Canada, Mr. Casey? Not a damn thing. Coldness.
Fake ass Black Friday. There's a fake ass Black Friday. It wasn't no good deals with what you guys were saying. We had games for like $50, but nothing crazy like
maple syrup on sale.
We had
That
Y'all are
firewood
idiots.
on sale.
Y'all are crazy. Now, I got Celeste for $20, so it was a good little discount off on the 39 I think it goes for. And then I got Enter the Gungeon on Nintendo. Nintendo had some good deals on the digital.
Yeah, they had
market.
good digital deals. I saw that.
I got the
You get Street
PSN
Fighter?
Network for PlayStation Network card. Got that for $50, so that was usually $80. So I saved a little on that. So I'm good for the year now. Picked up some stuff like that.
Man, I fucked around and had auto renewal and I didn't know. And I checked my account and I saw that -60. I said, what?
Shit.
I thought I got hacked. I was like, niggas done got me. I was like, Sony got breached again?
Them goddamn Russians.
Then I looked, I signed up for auto renewal. I was like, fuck me.
And I'm
mad.
I picked up gifts for everybody, for other people, for the fam. You know, I made sure to do that.
I ain't get shit for nobody except myself. Fuck
Yeah, it sounds like some selfish ass motherfuckers.
Yep, that's Americans.
Fuck you
Holy
guys.
shit! Nah, I grabbed gifts.
Get the
early.
gift of being in my presence, breathing my ear.
We got Boxing Day here, so that's where I'll go off and get my shit for myself. That's the day after Christmas. Y'all have that in the States yet?
No,
What?
we just call that leftover day. We eat some leftovers and chill.
Sucks for you guys. Now we have 2 sales.
We got Cyber Monday.
Yeah,
we got
we
that.
do that.
That.
On Amazon.
Oh shit! I grabbed some shit off Amazon too. Got a
What'd you
couple stuff.
grab?
Got some more gifts. I got gifts off Amazon. I got myself some headphones and shit. Had some straight deals on it. Amazon's killing it. They had some
They
great
really
deals
are.
still. Yeah.
I got that doorbell where I can peep people when they coming through off my phone.
Oh, the Ring.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah, the
That shit's
Ring.
great.
Yeah, I love that. So I can be like, who the fuck is this? And I can be
Yeah.
in Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Now I can't come to the door. I'm taking a shit. You're actually
Taking
in
a
like
shit, boss.
Dominican Republic.
Leave that shit at the door.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And you get
yeah.
to see the fucking people when they deliver your shit, how they deliver it. They don't drop it nice. More times they just dash it at the door and walk away. Piss me
Oh
off.
shit! I'm about to be making comments. I'll be like, "You dirty nigga."
Yeah.
I'm about to be fucking with the UPS people. Be like, "I see you, you
Yeah.
dirty."
Man, that shit's great.
And anything else you've been up to?
I'm starting a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Don't call me blurred.
I don't like that term blurred, man.
Because, yeah, son, oh my God, they're so whack. Like, they're so ashy. They're just
yeah,
trash.
man. I just feel like blurs are like these dusty niggas with like half afros.
Yeah. I was just about to say that, like the little bush.
Just a dirty nigga with a half afro.
They got the Lauryn Hill hair with the
I
acne.
feel like they're generalizing all black nerds as just dusty niggas with half afros, man.
Damn, that's what's
We
going
got-
on online.
We gotta
Yep.
stand up against that shit, man.
Yeah, I'm not with that at all. So don't call me that. Trademark. And so I'm gonna start pumping out some video essays pretty soon here.
Nice.
Feel you, son.
No,
Wait.
no, not really. Just I'm trying.
Let's have a quick talk because Ant hated Widows and we enjoyed it. Because I enjoyed the
Really?
foolishness.
Oh.
Yes. Let's have a quick chat on that.
Rubbing
Now-
my hands together.
All right, so the scene where Daniel Kaluuya's character goes to the driver's house and he's beating the shit out of them, and they say, "Give him a 2-piece, extra biscuit," and as he's beating them to death, they say, "Extra spicy." You even busted out laughing.
I honestly don't remember that.
That shit was hilarious. Like, to me, I was laughing. The plot twist that happened at the end, I thought was dumb. The whole Liam Neeson thing with the "I'm not dead," like that was that should have been her scapegoat to be like, "Yo, fuck this guy. He's still alive. Don't worry about getting the money from me. Get it from him. He's alive. I'm good."
You let me know when I can start. Just
Start. I want to hear you go in on
Well,
that.
I didn't hate Widows. I got to be clear. I was very disappointed. I love the writer, Gillian Flynn. I love Stephen McQueen. I love the entire cast. What I felt like what happened is they took something that should have been a really small, intimate heist movie and almost did like a blockbuster equivalent where it's like, okay, we need like this A-list cast. We need like these big, theatrics, where I think the movie would have been better served if it was like smaller, you know what I'm saying? Maybe smaller budget, because Steve McQueen can't just film something. He has to sit there, film. Like a kid looking in the mirror will take like 3 minutes of screen time. And the direction was beautiful.
Yeah.
The acting was great. It just really just kind of pretentious. Like, I don't like using that word, but it's like, okay, this is a really simple movie, but we got all this stuff going on. We got
what was all this stuff?
Just like there's the political stuff that pays off absolutely none. It doesn't pay off. You could completely change the political stuff and it would make no difference to the actual heist of the plot. You know what I'm saying? There's all this talk about like exploiting the poverty-stricken people. There's woman gang independence, which I'm behind, but it's also like you didn't really need that in this movie. I felt like.
You know, this is based off of a British show.
Yes, I did, and you could tell. You can honestly tell because it's like, why is this subplot here? And you think like the son dying, you could completely remove that from the movie, and it would change literally nothing.
I think it added to Liam Neeson's character. I felt like once his son died and he didn't really care for his wife,
that was the breaking point of their relationship.
I'm going to start over with a new white family.
Okay, but okay.
Because
he says in the movie, "You think I'm only with you because of our son," and then the son dies, and you know.
Chronologically, though, that doesn't come across. The background isn't told chronologically, so it's nowhere to place it in relation to where their relationship, like got messed up. Mm-hmm. So you can say that, but I never got a sense of. I mean, I'm sure like your son dying doesn't help, but I also felt like that's another moment where it's like, okay, let's shove in this metaphor about police brutality, and you know, all these scenes are good, but they don't tell a coherent story. I mean, and that white girl gets like 40 minutes of screen time dealing with this architect, and it's like, dude, like there's just so much going on thematically. And I really just felt didn't need that.
But I think that added to her character development from being a battered wife to being a strong woman who was just finessing people at the end. She wasn't being used. She was using people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. None of this stuff is bad.
And in no way this is a masterpiece movie where I'm holding it up there with the greatest of all time.
Does the movie know that? I don't think
I'm not. Yeah, but I don't think it's crap, though. I don't think it was like a waste.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I would say it's one of those movies where you sit there and it's 2.5 hour movie and you sit there in the theater and you're like, nothing has stuck with me. Like this character, like it feels like none of the characters get enough screen time in this 2.5 hour movie, you know?
I think it's because it's based off of a show and they condensed it down into a movie. It gave that, and the whole political grounding was giving space for the positioning of things to be able to happen and for the robbery, the heist. So I do see reasoning for things that happened in the movie. I do disagree with what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean
cohesiveness. I see the cohesiveness, and I see why they kept things and they would show it later on for pacing. So I don't know. I didn't, like I said, I don't think this is a masterpiece movie, but I thought it was a great movie. It was a great film that I saw, and it was refreshing to see a film like this, other than comic book movies that we see all the time.
Let's just get to the payoff. And I resent that remark about the comic movies, but let's get to the payoff. Like I'm always saying, like it's like the buildup is always good, right? And then it's like, okay, the movie's beautiful, the stage is set. I'm like, okay, if you're going to have me waiting around for 2 hours, you better have a payoff. And I thought the payoff was horrible. That is one of the worst.
You wanted more of an Ocean's 11 heist?
No,
because it's more of a grounded heist of women who don't really know.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to give me like Ocean's 11 type build up, then give me something that pays off. And also the ending of that, where like, where did these bitches get that car from? They just came from behind in random. I was like, this is kind of turned into a stupid movie. And I know it's hard to say that.
Hijack somebody, but I feel like a lot of the movie leaves stuff for interpretation.
That's not a thing you leave for interpretation, because when you set up a heist, you have to set up and you have to say A through Z has to happen. A through Z can happen. So something like that, you need the mechanics to be solid.
Oh, okay.
The car came from the two when they did something to get the cops out of the security cops or whatever out of the way. The woman who was running, she got them out by doing something. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that's where the car came from. So those security cops ran off to do something. They left the car, and then they had their heist van that the guy stole after. So they grabbed that car, and it's on the same street. Yes, and they grabbed that same car that was like right up the street, like not even a block. Like it was like 10 yards away. They grabbed that car. He drove by the car, and they sat there on the thing for a second, and he drove by the car, and then they had the scene where their car followed. Those two cops who were watching the house, they hopped out the car to check something that was happening. Like a gun, something went off. Something happened.
She set the fire.
Yeah, that's it. So they hopped. They were like, "Holy shit!" and they hopped out the car, and they just left the car. Okay,
I feel like that's the sort of thing you can
like. They did all kinds of little things. Like even when their voices while they're doing the robbery, they had the voices. Remember the
that was
Fast
cool.
and Furious girl, her daughter had the voice things. Remember the kids were playing with those. So she took that thing from her kid, and she was using that as a voice to communicate still. And that's what was giving them the messed up voice. Like they had little nuances of how they were showing how they're going to pull out the heist, being people that weren't heist people.
Right.
That's why I appreciate it, because it wasn't really about the heist. Like it wasn't an Ocean's 11 big scheme thing where it was like a magic trick and they show how they did the magic trick. This was about women like gaining their independence and standing on their own 2 feet. And I think that's what the show was about too. I don't think this was about a big heist.
Okay, I'm not saying big, and I'm not saying big
because it was only 5 minutes. If you really put it together, the heist part was only like 5-10 minutes of the movie.
Here's my point, though, and I'm fine with that. I don't need like a big, like loud Ocean's 11, but I do need something that pays off because there's a lot of setup. I need payoff according to the according to the setup. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think of a small movie that had kind of like a really smart ending, like a smart climax, and I'm really blanking. Because a lot of movies do that, where like it's a genre thing, but the genre is really secondary to the characters.
The one thing I could say that I thought was awkward was the ending scene where she sat down at the diner and they both saw each other and they didn't say anything. I don't remember off the top of my head, but they kind of didn't say anything. That was kind of unnecessary. It felt like it was like, okay, where are they going with this? That kind of felt awkward. That ending scene, but
there was a lot of scenes that just went on too long, and I'm just like, you could.
But I think it's because it's based off the sitcom. Not the sitcom, off the television show. So you know what I mean.
Also,
it should be a sitcom.
that girl gets shot, and it's just like, okay, nothing of that happens. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of stupid. Like, okay, this should be a big deal. This should be a big deal that she gets shot. Somebody else got shot, and you can match the bullet casings to how she got shot. Like, it was just stuff like that they just like, it was a frustrating.
In Chicago,
movie.
People get shot from strays like so much that they were like, we could use Chicago as a perfect grounds to be able to pull off a heist because some bullets are flying all the time.
Chicago's so fucked up, you can just get away.
Okay, here's the thing. Though.
That's where because
that dude shot a gun. That dude shot a gun, and they know if they look at that, they know that happened not too far. The hospital is not too far from the crime scene. They know that he fired a gun. And they know the gun, but like the police. Look, I understand.
We don't know what they know for sure.
No, I know that's common procedure.
We don't know if his gun was illegal. We don't know what he was holding.
It doesn't matter if the gun's illegal. You can tell what caliber the bullet is by the gun. They have the bullets in the rest of the chamber from the gun. Like the cops aren't going to just be like, they're not just going to throw their hands up. Like the cops would be called for that girl getting shot when they go to the hospital. And then the cops would go there and match the bullets. Now, I'm not saying that she would be indicted off that, but that's something to show. That's something you need to acknowledge.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that's something that maybe in Europe, or I don't know where it takes place. Maybe in Europe that's not a thing. You know, maybe that's not like that. Maybe that was a plot point that wasn't a big deal. But when you change it over, you kind of need to update it.
I was just like, white woman got shot, she'll be all right. They're gonna fix her up real quick. They're not even gonna check the credit on her. They're gonna fix her up first.
It's a movie I'm sure that I'll watch again. I might feel better about. Like I don't hate it. I actually loved it up to a point. And it's a movie where it's kind of like if you have like a salad with a lot of different stuff, and you're like, okay, I like this a lot, and then there's like olives or some shit, and you're like, oh, get this out of here. But there's good elements to it that stand on their own.
Fucking olives, man.
Like that guy, the director's movies.
You said what?
Yeah, Steve McQueen. There's a lot that I like from his movies, but there's a lot of them I'm like, man, this movie's rough, man.
They're slow. They're really slow. What I mean?
Yeah, but there's a lot of beautiful scenes in it.
Gorgeous. That scene in the church when they showed the audience and they had like all these really beautiful outfits. It was gorgeous. It's a gorgeous movie. And like I said, I think now that I understand what it's going for, I think it's one of those movies, like, the more you think about it, the worse it gets. But I don't hate it. Like I said, I can see myself enjoying it later on DVD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Well, wrapping this up, I think. What's your last comment you want to make on this film?
Editing.
Editing. All right. Let's move on to the topics of the show.
Bacchanal news, you mean?
Yeah, Bacchanal news. I'm sorry. I'm sick. All right.
Yeah, so am I.
Sick of your shit. All right. All right, so let's look at some trailers. Got
Let's
a couple
do it,
trailers. Can you guys hear this?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my god. Looks beautiful.
Wakanda.
Everything
Pretty much.
The OG Wakanda here, eh?
is our kingdom.
This
But a king's time as ruler rises and falls like the sun.
I never seen the Jungle
One
Book. I gotta
day,
watch it.
Really good.
the sun will set on my time
Oh
here
shit! You know what happens there?
and will
The
rise
trampling.
with
I'ma
you
cry
as
on
the
it.
new
Can't
king.
even lie. I can't. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna drop a thug tear.
Oh, Rafiki. I had a roommate that looked like Rafiki.
I just the juices no more. Dust.
From that red dust.
Yeah, this looks great.
Prince T'Challa is born. Now, I heard people saying that they wanted Deuce and Mero playing Timon and Pumbaa instead of Seth Rogen.
Those people need to shut the fuck up.
I don't know, man. That sounds pretty cool.
It sounds alright, but
Jesus as like as Pumbaa, that sounds amazing. But you can't put them next to that cast. Like the rest of the, you can't have Beyonce and Jesus in the same movie.
maybe in the 2045 Lion King remake we'll get that.
Shit, I might not
Straight?
make it to that one, man.
I don't. Yeah.
All right, so here's the first look. Next trailer, we got first look of Batgirl. Oh, Batwoman, I'm sorry.
Bad woman.
In the CW Elseworld trailer that they have.
Batman is an urban legend.
This is Ruby Rose as Batwoman.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Destiny. Hey man, I think she looks great.
That hair is horrible. That hair is terrible.
Yeah, it's good enough.
I'm
Where
sorry.
hair-
W budget.
Terrible in the comics. She has a raggedy ass red wig.
Okay, well, it's comic accurate then.
It is, yeah. Like that shit look raggedy. I was like, all right, comic accurate.
I feel like I've seen her without that shit, but you know, but the CW is not for me. Their production design, it just never. I could never rock with it. I'm like, this show looks like a high school play.
You messing with Black Lightning?
No, I haven't seen Black Lightning.
It's not bad, man. It's not
I-
amazing, but it's not bad.
Not amazing
Good
at all.
watch.
I try to aim for amazing, really.
Some things will make you laugh. That's supposed to be serious, but
It's
No
like
thanks.
a black exploitation film with superpowers.
So Luke Cage, no, I'm good. I'm good.
No,
Better than Luke Cage,
no,
better than Luke
better.
Cage. Better than Luke Cage for sure.
Better than Luke Cage?
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, I have to say so. Yeah, like it's self-aware of its black exploitationness and coonery.
Coonery, okay.
It is very self.
What's my favorite line I heard? He said, "Brother, I will skin you with a butter knife." That's those stupid lines like that.
I'll never watch this shit in my life.
The main bad guy is albino black man who's
He's
self-hating.
hilarious.
He's a self-hating albino black man whose power is his skin is kind of like impenetrable and he's super strong, and he's been alive for all these like
Never heard
years
of that before.
Luke Cage, and he and he hasn't been aging, so he's super old and he's a bigot, and every episode's damn Negroes and you can't trust no. He's basically like a super strong Uncle Ruckus.
Okay, I'm
much,
back
yeah.
in. I'm kind of back in.
So it's Uncle Ruckus
You can tell
versus
he's having so much fun.
Yeah.
doing it too.
I'm telling you, it's foolishness. Get drunk, watch a couple episodes, Every episode, these damn Negroes.
Okay. No, but thank you.
Yes, good coonery. It is great coonery. And speaking of coonery, let's watch Pusha T get interrupted during his set in Toronto.
Oh Lord.
That's your people, Casey.
Hilton Wata.
Yo, what is that? Them niggas are throwing a monsoon.
Yeah, man. It looks like they were saying it was beer, but that looks like a lot more than beer.
These niggas playing Jumanji.
They just threw Lake Ontario on them. That's not Pusha T. Clearly,
no. That's Pusha T's manager in the purple, who's getting the kicks in.
His manager looks like DJ Khaled.
He like Fresh Montana.
Get some 1-2s right there.
Is that a Canada Goose?
He was saying, that says a Toronto man being punished.
Yo, I tell you what though, that's a real manager right there, cuz.
Yeah, that's a good manager right there.
That's better than the manager in Creed, man.
Then Pusha came back and said, "You know what? I'm not done this show yet."
So he came back out and he performed after that?
A couple more songs and then he dipped out.
I would have been done. You throw a fucking hurricane at me, I'm done.
They really did. They hit him with Hurricane Michael.
So how did you guys feel about that? Like when you first saw it, because when it first came out on Academic's Instagram, it looked like a far shot of what was happening, and it looked like Pusha T was getting like jumped by a bunch of people. The angles were all different.
I thought it was corny. I was like, corny ass Canadians. I was like, y'all wasting beer. You know that beer's like $9.
It looked like a Pokemon did surf.
Oh shit.
That was a lot of fucking alcohol. I thought that was water.
What a waste.
Shooting at him. That was money right there. That's $9 a beer.
Yeah, it's not like I said. It's not. No, it's probably $9 American. So Canadian. It's about $12 a beer.
Probably around 10, 12.
Wild.
Shit ain't cheap.
Yo, wild man.
I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to really understand. I want to see what they were doing to produce.
I want to know what he did to antagonize them, or did they just do that
came at Drake?
Nothing.
He just came at Drake. He was like,
had to be more than that.
Damn Canadian fanboys, y'all weren't rocking with Drake in 07. now
early
y'all
Drake
over the man.
So corny,
nuts.
bro. I listened to some old Who's in Vegas song is trash, nigga. I was like, how did this nigga ever pop? This show is like, whoa.
It's funny that you said that because I was looking at an old interview and Drake was trying to get signed with what's T.I.'s label? Hustle. Grand Hustle.
Yeah.
And T.I.'s like, yo, I didn't see the vision. I just saw this corny dude from Canada. He's like, that was before the beard, so that Drake wasn't.
He's still a corny dude from Canada. I mean,
he still is, yeah, but he portrays himself as.
Does anybody think they can't beat Drake in a fight? Like anybody on the planet? Like he's a good rapper though.
Y'all talk wild as fuck when y'all on the internet, eh?
It's Drake.
Till you meet him in public, you're like,
hey Drake. Put Drake in front of me. I'll say the. Put Drake in front of me. I'll say the same thing. I'll put the same thing. All I'm saying is you can't beat me in a fight. That's all I'm saying.
I'm a huge fan, buddy.
Exactly. When you see him, you'll be turned to Trump. Huge.
All I'm saying.
Bigly fan.
He can't beat me in a fight. I'm not saying that's it. I would gladly say it to his face.
Toronto man's being punished. What? Who speaks like that? Being like, is he going to punish the church?
Finish it.
I was like, what's wrong with Pusha T?
Both sides of this was corny,
man. Pusha T's corny for saying Toronto man's being punished. That sounds like some type of like S&M like sexual thing. Like, man's about to be punished and tied.
But the dude who tried to jump on the stage, that was a big fail. If you're gonna do that, I understand. Shoot your shot for whatever you want to do in life, but can't miss, baby, or else you're gonna look like a clown, man. That guy looked dumb. Did you see when he hopped the fence? He tried to hop the first fence before he went up the stage, and he couldn't hop that fence. That's where he failed, man.
They should got him then.
Huh?
Should have got him then when he was trying to hop the fence. Get him the fuck out of there.
Yeah. Or he should have just hopped from that fence to the stage if you really wanted to try to get him. But there's so many, like, honestly, that place could have been, like, it could have been handled a whole lot differently and a whole lot more gangster than that. That was, like, that's why I don't think they're saying it was a setup. Like, Drake sent those guys. I really don't think it was that. I think it was just some guys wilding out, trying to get them out of their own
corny-ass Canadian dudes looking for clout. Well,
Drake's
beer.
Drake's set is the Care Bears.
You think his fan base is the Care Bears or what?
That's his set. That's who he's rolling with.
kind of strong, man.
I don't know what Care Bears you watched.
They had that lion with them.
Yeah, man.
He waving the bear, man. He's just rolling with the set. He's like, yo, I like what y'all doing. I know I'm not a bear. Can I join?
Yeah, for real. He wasn't a bear. That's true.
He wasn't a bear. Oh, they had a whole lion in that. It's like, yo, I just left the Thundercats. I didn't hit the height requirements. I like what y'all doing. Let me be down with you bears.
So the dude who hopped the fence and got jumped by the security, well, not jumped, but who security defended and did their job with, he ended up getting stabbed, and he has brain infection, like something happened to his brain. They hit it, hemorrhages. Yeah, his skull is fractured. He's really fucked up now. Yeah, and he got stabbed somehow. No one knows how.
Sounds like a punishing did happen. He got punched.
He got pulled into the back room and he was conscious until he went into the back room and came back out really fucked up.
Damn, they really did punish him. All right.
Oh yeah, he really got.
He lived up to that caption. Canadians being punished.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, he about to treat him to a good time. That sounds kinky. Punish him. All right. Speaking of Drake, players, somebody hacked Drake's Fortnite account, and they were playing with Ninja, and they're shouting out racial slurs.
Yeah, supposedly this happened yesterday on live on Fortnite. It's going all over the internet on YouTube and shit.
That sounds like any time you're on Xbox Live. Like, we're racial and homophobic. Like, fuck your mom, and you're gay. I'm just like, okay, let's go back to playing Call of Duty. That's why I don't mess with Xbox, man. Too much bullshit like that.
Yeah, but you'd think like they would have like if it was a big person like that, at least give some kind of checks or security checks to make sure. He just lets anybody on live at the moment. Like, seems very unprofessional.
Well, the thing is, he's a Twitch streamer, and he was clout chasing. So he's like, "Yo, shit, I'm live. I got Drake with me." And then fake Drake is like, "Nigger."
Yeah, and then he just jumped off. But he did see the account saying Drake, so I guess he was like, "Oh shit,
yeah,
Champagne Poppy in the house."
Blackface Drake showed up to the to the Fortnite.
he got Blackface Aubrey Graham. He didn't get Drake. He got Aubrey. He got Aubrey and Blackface.
Drake is so whack.
So what was this guy doing? Just saying nigger every minute? That's all it sounds like.
Yeah, and then he cut him off quick, and then he was like, "Well, that was awkward."
That's not the Drizzy I know.
Yeah, exactly. But 600,000 people saw it happen live, and they recorded it at the moment and put it on YouTube and put their comments on what they thought of it and all that shit. You know what I mean?
So he saw Drake was online. He invited him. He's like, "Yo, this is about to go viral," and then he got hit with
He got
got. It sounded like that rant from that guy from Seinfeld, where he was going like he was having a tangent. And he just kept saying "nigger" every minute.
No, Kramer.
Yeah, Kramer. Nigger.
Yikes!
That was like the first viral video I remember.
That's pretty much what he got instead of getting Drizzy.
Yikes! Awkward.
Mad awkward. Speaking of awkward, Tekashi 6ix9ine's Dummy Boy reportedly leaked. Is that his new upcoming album?
Yeah, it was supposed to come out on Friday, but the FBI and the record labels and all that blocked it from happening. But a producer or somebody who had the album already just put it out online for everybody to hear it.
Now, you think that's his team, or he did that himself? Like, since he fired his team, you think that's like retaliation?
Can he release a mixtape through jail?
Or he's the okay. You can tell your lawyer.
Give the okay, yeah.
Put the shit out because the label was blocking it. So
at least it's my CD, stupid.
At least everybody can rock with it. It's not like he's coming out of jail anytime soon now.
Now
he might.
What I got from that Breakfast Club interview that he did, it seemed like he decriminated himself. Like he cleared the air with everything. He's like, "Yo, that whole Treyway thing, I made that up." Like he knew. Like the interview pretty much was like, like foreshadowing the events of what happened.
If he knew, why he get the fuck out? If I had $1 million,
to remove himself. That's what he's trying to do in that interview.
I'm going to Mexico, bro. I'm going to Mexico.
No, he's on parole. He can't do that.
Yeah, he can.
How?
He just can't come back.
He about to go on the tire.
Jump in the back of a truck or something.
If I had $1 million, if I had $1 million, bro.
You about to do a Roman Polanski and go to Russia and see him and get some type of what's it called? What's the term where you seek asylum? Yeah.
I'm going to Mexico, stupid.
You gonna go to Mexico and seek asylum?
Though 25 cents a taco, bro, over in Mexico.
Cartel be all over his ass.
His tattoos, he'd have to have like fucking Mac makeup on, cut his hair.
No, he
Cover the
needs
tats with makeup.
a Fenty makeup, man.
Yeah.
That's
Fenty,
a
man.
problem is that everybody in America, everybody in the country knows what he looks like.
Yeah, they'll spot him so easy. How's he getting out of there? He'd have to swim.
I would have been done with that whole 6ix9ine shit. I would have been Daniel Hernandez. I'm like,
That's what he was trying to do on the Breakfast Club.
I'm back to being Daniel.
He was
dyeing my
I just
hair.
want to be an actor, bro.
It's hard to feel bad for that guy when he's such a dickhead. Like,
He is a dick.
it's just hard
He
to.
is, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you try to troll. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I can't feel. You know, I don't even know the specifics. I
So
want to
y'all
say.
don't fuck with his music though.
I'll fuck with his music, but his personality is funny as hell.
Nah, I like it. He actually makes good tracks, man. Like,
Not for
that's
me.
some shit I'm gonna bang at home. But if I hear it when I'm out, I'm like, oh shit, 6ix9ine, and it does get the place moving. So,
Yeah, I mean,
I
he's
ain't
got
gonna
some
front on
jokes.
6ix9ine. Y'all motherfuckers all front on this guy like he doesn't make good songs. The reason why he's still around is because he's making good songs.
Yeah.
When he
No,
first
no,
came
no,
out-
no.
Take it easy.
No, I'm saying out of my
Take it
my
easy there,
personal
buddy.
thing.
That's like
You
saying-
antics.
That's
Niggas
like saying,
can't
He's
just
making
say-
good music. I was
Niggas
like, fuck
can't
this
just
guy
say
at first. I
something.
don't like him. But
Niggas can't just.
he kept making good songs consistently. Every month he dropped one song.
That
I
nigga
was like,
stuck around because he looked like a goddamn.
I think his
No, because
social
his music
media
is good,
presence
and his
is
presence
bigger
is great.
than
You
his
keep
music.
saying this word, good.
No, it's not good. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come
it
on,
is,
son.
man. Y'all are front.
So you
Y'all are
reaching,
full-
No,
bro?
fuck, I'm not.
Wait
had.
until you guys come down here and you're at a party and you hear it. You'll be like, oh shit.
Because you guys are easily influenced in Canada.
No,
Clearly,
we're not. No,
you
we're
guys clearly tried to beat up Pusha T for no reason. Clearly, it's
You're from
clearly
Ottawa.
as
Stop fronting.
easily influenced.
He has gumbo and he has that
I
one joke.
am
Nick.
Ottawa.
You're saying Canadians like you're not Canadian. But anyways,
No,
nah, man.
you guys are
The
influenced.
tracks, the
I'm
thing
Canadian
is, what's
myself.
happening with him is the shit consistently popped. Each song that he had kept popping.
What song? He has
kept saying he was a
Fifi and
one-hit
gumbo.
wonder.
He has 2 songs.
Nah, he has a bunch of songs that kept popping, kept getting hits. Kept
He has
getting views on
Stupid, and
YouTube.
he has Billy, and he has Fifi, and he has Gumbo.
That nigga look like cotton candy. That's why he's still around.
His social media presence is bigger than his music. Like I
Yeah.
said,
I'm telling you
For
guys,
sure.
Y'all are just.
I'm not. You're not.
I'm not even
listening.
shit on his music, but you keep
It's not
saying
cool
good.
To agree with them.
Shit is not good.
You
I'm
keep
about to
talking
pull
about.
up a
you're
track
not
right
looking
now.
at what's happening. That's why you guys are just trying to shortchange the guy because of his.
That's
image.
like saying
What?
Lil Pump is good because he's relevant.
Lil Pump is way better than 6ix9ine. Way
but,
better.
but that's what Casey's saying. He's saying that hey, somebody like Lil Pump. That's like saying what's that guy
Yeah,
Lil
y'all
B.
stop-
That's like saying Lil B is good because he was relevant.
Yeah, you tripping, bro. And I'm
No,
not
he
even
keeps
saying that.
consistently dropping good songs.
That nigga- I've heard 3 of
every
his
time
songs.
He's dropping songs that are popping that everybody's fucking.
In the
That's
last
what I'm
year,
telling you right now.
I've heard 3 of his songs.
You're
I
not
don't.
listening enough then.
Maybe
he's
because you're close to
popping.
the border. Maybe you're closer to the New York scene. I don't know, but like
I
I'm
think
not
so.
even-
Y'all need to
Here's
go
some
outside.
6ix9ine.
That's kind of trash. That's trash.
Nah, bro, this
That is trash. That is so trash.
Dumb.
That's too much.
Look at, you're even saying you remember it. You're gonna be humming that dumb shit just now.
No, I'm not.
There's a lot of things
Okay.
I'll remember and I'll hum, but
Okay.
aren't good. Like I said, I'll give him Fifi. I'll give him Gummo. Like that don't. I'm not rocking with. That's just too busy, nigga. That's just
not
too
for
much.
me, man.
That's too much going on.
I'll stick with my
So what'd
Freddie
you guys
Gibb.
think of Rowdy? What'd you guys think of Rowdy?
I didn't hear
The
it.
guys from Brooklyn.
Oh, you talking about Roddy Rebel?
What do you guys think of the tri-state area of music? Meek Mill.
Nigga, you are just. You
Meek
talking
be
to
yelling
me.
too much for me, man. Be making my head hurt.
Y'all don't go outside, man. Y'all stuck in your little boxes down south. Just stay.
Man,
there,
I talked to you
bro.
2 times. You know what I do.
Oh man, what'd you know about that Jaden Smith?
You give a nigga an inch. Like, yeah, he makes some good songs. He makes good music. Like,
No,
a
because the
win.
music keeps consistently coming out, and it's like, holy shit! Every time everybody wants to say, right, okay, he's done. That one-hit wonder's done. He keeps dropping a track that's.
Oh, I'm not gonna call him a one-hit wonder. If,
but
that's
what people keep saying, and he's whack. He's this.
that's
he's trash, but
different
it's
from
like,
what you said. You
he's
changed.
dropping music over and over again. It's
You
like,
moved the goalpost like a motherfucker there. But I hear I see what you're saying.
nah.
Yo, look, I'm listening to JID right now. That's who I'm listening.
Yo, Jit is fire. Jit is fire. I mean, we talked about that on the
So-
Cole cast.
That's who I'm listening to. So you can have your 6ix9ine, Good with that.
That nigga trash.
I listened to Jaden Smith before I listened to 6ix9ine. Jaden Smith is not that bad.
I would never listen to Jaden Smith in my life. Well,
Not that bad,
I guess I had to. Spoilers, but
You did, yeah.
6ix9ine trash.
You did. All right, moving on. Harley Quinn will become Batman's new sidekick in February in the new Batman series. And I'm not for it because they tried to shoehorn that shit with the Harley Quinn cartoon movie where she went on the mission with Batman and she raped Nightwing. Anywho,
what was that?
Did you see that when she raped
Yes.
Nightwing and tied them
I
up?
was like, why? People always say, oh, the DC animated movies are great. Like, nigga, what are you watching? Them also like straight to DVD, like Netflix movies.
Some of them are good. They've been dropping the ball lately. They dropped the ball with that one.
When's the last good one?
Death of Superman was good.
Yeah.
Okay. When did that come out?
A couple months ago.
Really? Okay. I stand corrected. I'm just saying, niggas give that. People are retroactively making the DC animated movies better. Those movies don't hold up to other movies. I'm ran over.
I would say they're old. Well, like they have some classics. Like the Red Hood film was amazing.
Oh yeah.
I like the Justice League series that they did with Justice League War, Justice League Atlantis. I enjoyed those two.
Justice League War was okay. That joint was like,
it's better than the movie we got.
Okay, well that's the bar.
Give me the that's the bar right now.
That's the bar.
If that's the bar, give me the animated film over the live action.
Like, I think we need to do better with both, to be honest. But
they're better than Marvel's animated films.
Nigga, who cares?
Marvel, they stopped with that. They're like, fuck it. We make good live action films.
Billion movies with
and we're
Black
gonna
Panther.
stick with that.
Well, it seems like they're trying to transition Harley Quinn into more of a hero Deadpool style character for DC. Because with like Heroes in Crisis, the comic book that they have going on right now, it seems like they're transitioning her from just an evil one like villain into a more layered character who's more of a hero now. So it seems like it's parallel with what they're trying to do.
Injustice 2, the video game, they did that with her character. They killed off Joker, and she's living. I think she's living with Batman or working with Batman, but she's not a villain anymore.
I gotta see this. I really have to see this because I don't understand what technically she provides Batman. But okay, she can use a hammer and shoot people. Like, okay, that's.
Hey man, Batman be getting horny sometimes. He did have sex with Batgirl, so maybe she might.
That wasn't canon.
So you're saying Batman just wants to bring her around just to blow her back out here and there?
Hey, Bruce, his dad was a scumbag, so he might have some scumbag ways about him. I don't trust Bruce. Can't trust a man that wears a costume all the time. Right? Oh no.
Who's playing piano in the background? What's going on?
Oh, that's my brother.
Oh, okay.
This just sounds whimsical too. I thought you were at a lounge talking to us.
No.
So what do we got next? Smallville.
So
Hero
people,
crossover? What's going on?
yeah.
With that?
So people are speculating that they might have some type of like Smallville Arrow crossover with this Elseworld episodes that they have coming out, because Stephen Amell, he's been meeting. He met with Lex Luthor and Clark Kent from Smallville, who are Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum, and they all had a meeting together. Now, I don't think they're going to reprise their roles because Tom Welling looks old as shit now, unless he's an older Superman. But I think they're going to make a cameo. That's what I'm predicting. They're going to have a cameo in the Elseworld series. Well, special event that they have starting December 9th.
Okay, that's cool.
So I think that'll be dope. It'll be cool to see them.
No comment.
My thing is like I would want to be like, where's Superman now then?
Well, yeah, it's Elseworld, so I don't know what's going on in that world, but I know there's piano playing in the background.
Yeah, I know.
It's like it's getting louder. He's like, fuck y'all.
Wild over there.
Ray Charles in this bitch.
I'll go turn it down. I'll be right back.
Oh man, brother out there jamming. What's the boy from Charlie Brown on the piano? Linus? Yeah. He's got his Linus on. Now, Casey, did you ever watch Smallville?
Yeah, a little bit.
So you have no one. Somebody save me.
It was a great theme song for sure.
Yeah, man, they don't make theme songs like that anymore. Like Black Lightning has an okay theme song.
Yeah, it's okay. I like the little Titans theme song. They got that little rock and roll doom style.
Not even anything. It's just like dun, 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 dun. And then the show starts. Like, all right. Now, did you watch the last Titans? Because I was wondering if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, I watched it.
Man, I got bored.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? They all got caught that quick and easy. That was kind of, I don't know. It feels like they're just trying to make the world more than they're actually trying to develop the characters right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Titans has been pretty. Oh God, Ant's getting beat up over there.
Yeah, he's getting a 2-piece. But
the Canadian goons are giving him a punishment.
Yeah. But yeah, they're trying too hard to make spin-offs rather than building the characters. I'm noticing.
I heard other podcasters say, and I agree, that Titans is always like one good episode, one missed episode.
That's why they should be doing it two a week, so that you can get the slow one and then the action one. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because they're only doing 12. They're only doing 12 episodes. So.
Yeah, so two at a time I think would have been perfect. 12? Yeah, that's a good amount.
Yeah, 2 at a time for 6 weeks. Bam.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely agree on that. Now, since Ant's still gone, I'm going to move on.
I'm back.
You're back?
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt.
Okay, we were talking about Titans. Have you watched the newest episode? Or?
Nope.
All right, no, you ain't want to. No, trust me.
You know I'm here.
Now, I'm going off the docket with this. Now, Kevin Smith, he worked on a couple episodes of Supergirl, and he was talking about the take that they're going to do with Lex Luthor, with John Cryer from 2.5 Men playing Lex Luthor. Now, he's saying that they're going to have a darker take because the villain that they're fighting right now, it's some Donald Trump shit. He's all about pro-human. He hates aliens. It's pretty much like a civil war of humans versus aliens that are living on Earth. So the villain that they have, his name is Agent of Liberty, and he's basically recruiting. It seems like he's mostly recruiting a bunch of down and out white people, because I didn't see one black person join the cause yet. And it's funny that a lot of minorities are aliens. Like all black people are Martians on Supergirl for some reason.
This is Supergirl?
Yeah, Supergirl. So
yeah, okay.
With John Cryer joining the mix, Lex Luthor is all about human rights and humans being above, aliens. Don't let aliens take your job. So I think that's going to be a good mix of more darker, radical Lex Luthor joining the show. So that's going to be interesting. It's not going to be the happy, corny Lex Luthor. It's going to be like pretty much a super radical Donald Trump. But it seems like everybody's taking that route. Like, yeah, every villain's trying to be Donald Trump. Like, I just recently saw Crimes of Grindelwald, the Fantastic Beasts movie, and Johnny Depp's character is pretty much Donald Trump. Oh, wow. And I'm just like, I could just watch real Donald Trump. Why I gotta watch fake wizard Donald Trump?
It's very interesting that during the Bush election, it took a couple years. I think Little Bush ran at the end of his second election, and for Trump, he's just so trash that it's taken less than 2 years until we have just so much media just dogging him, and it's beautiful. It makes my day.
But the thing is, even though people are dogging him, the votes are still there. People still
say he's still getting his way. He's
still getting his way. He's still getting 52% of white women to vote for him, even though he's talking about grabbing pussy. So there's a disconnect. People are outraged on TV and on media and all this other stuff, but when it comes to the voting, they're not that outraged. They're like, yeah, well, he's not that bad.
Hey, we'll see in 2 years, cuz.
We will.
That's what you guys said like 4 years ago.
Yeah, y'all let me down, man. Like, yeah,
y'all can't sit there and just say we'll see. Y'all gotta be making big changes now.
We really do, because the thing is, if you're gonna run against Trump, you can't just go and say Trump is trash, Trump is trash. Yeah. You need to come with a solution, because if you just come saying Trump is trash, he's going to win.
The middle needs, the outer of America needs to communicate with the inner of America. Y'all ain't enemies. Y'all need to come together, and you got to show them the paperwork and be like, yo, y'all eating? No.
Fuck them niggas.
Y'all ain't eating? We're not eating. Nobody's eating because of this guy. We're all
if you ain't under my roof, cuz. Nah, I'm just kidding. But we shall see. I don't know what to say. We shall see.
We shall see.
Supergirl thing sounds like something we've heard before. It doesn't sound that interesting.
Yeah, I was like, I already seen this character. He's called Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Real quick before we jump into the next topic, when I watched Crimes of Grindelwald, I didn't know the story. I don't know shit about Harry Potter and stuff. So it's about two gay lovers fighting. So Grindelwald and Dumbledore used to be bunkmates back in the day.
I feel like I should put a spoiler alert here.
Oh, fuck them. These damn these Potterphiles, if they want to call themselves Potterphiles. Anyways, so they're ex-lovers. Mm-hmm. And homeboy Grindelwald, he's so sassy. This shit caught me off guard. Before he like shows up in town, he like drapes the city in these satin black sheets with his logo on it. I said that gotta be the sassiest damn shit. You just see these black sheets just cover the city, and then if you look carefully, it has his logo. I said, my nigga. he just draped the city with satin sheets with his logo. I said that gotta be the sassiest shit. And then the main dude in the show, he's like Steve Irwin and Doctor Strange if they had Asperger's.
Yeah,
pretty much. Pretty much. If Steve Irwin and Doctor Strange are on the autism spectrum, bam, that's the. And I like that guy way more than Harry Potter. Harry Potter was a bitch.
Oh my god.
Harry Potter would complain. This dude, the Asperger's guy, he's like, look, all I care about is animals. Fuck you guys. He uses like his zoology teachings to figure out crime. So he's like, nah, that wasn't an animal that scratched that person because I know that these claws are from this and not from that. I was like, okay, I see you using your Asperger's as a superpower.
Yeah, I'm getting tired of that.
But all the other stuff in the show was just really, really boring. Mm-hmm. So if you have no interest in like Harry Potter and
I don't,
and that's like your first going into it, I say skip it or pick it up on Black Friday when it's in the bargain bin. Because I just kept looking at the watch, man. Zoe Kravitz would show up every once in a while doing a British accent. I was like, okay, I see you, Zoe. And then she'll disappear. It's one of those movies where somebody tells you a story and they show you like they're like, oh, let's cut back to a flashback of what happened, and then they'll show that. They'll spend like 20 minutes on that.
I thought the whole movie was a flashback.
No, look, let me explain. Somebody will do a flashback and they'll explain something.
Before Harry Potter was even born?
Yeah, this is 1920.
The whole thing is a flashback.
No, it's not.
So a flashback would happen, and somebody will come and go, no. This is how the story really went. They'll do another flashback of the same story, 20 minutes of that, but they'll change some stuff. And then another person will say, nah, I got the real story.
So this movie's not a flashback.
It's not a flashback.
It's a prequel, pretty much. Yeah.
Not a flashback.
What's the difference between a flashback and a prequel?
A flashback, you have to be at a certain point in time and then go backwards to the past. The main storyline the main story isn't Harry Potter. It's not.
I know. I'm just fucking with you guys, man. You realize that right
Fuck you, Casey.
People.
I'm just joking, saying it was a flashback. Come on.
I'm sorry. People kill me when they misuse shit like that. It's just like when people say plot hole. You gonna get some hate mail. You always mispronouncing stuff. When people say plot hole and they mean something that wasn't like explicitly explained, they're like, "Oh, that's a plot hole." Shut up.
I'm gonna say plot hole when we do our Creed review.
There's no plot.
just you off. The plot hole. Speaking of Creed, before we get into the review.
Yeah.
Creed 2 was supposed to feature Clubber Lang, who was Mr. T's character from Rocky 3.
Yeah, Rocky 3.
And they were close to having him in the film, but it didn't pan out.
What the fuck is he doing?
I don't know what Mr. T's doing, but it would have been cool to see him say, I pity the fool.
Just pulled up talking shit. Y'all motherfuckers think y'all can fight? I'll hit your wife and show her how it's done. That's some shit he said in the original.
Yo, what if he showed up and then Tyrone was his son? He's like, I'm about to fuck your wife. Long dick style. Up and
that went through this whole movie into a whole other lane of movies.
Creed versus Tyrone. About to fuck your wife. Long dick style. Give her back her hearing. Woo!
Now pass her to grandpa, baby. Both of them talking shit.
Clubber Lang and Tyrone Lang. That's a sequel. That's a world star sequel.
You know what I mean? Might be for the
So now, do you guys think that would have added to the film? Because
no,
oh man, it took away from the energy they were trying to build with this thing. The tension
Mr. T.
build.
Mr. T made his big break in 1982 with Rocky 3 because that's when he did his iconic line, "I pity the fool," and he took that whole shit with him with the A-Team. So maybe he would have had a new line. You know, maybe he could have brought Long Dick style.
I'd rather see him in the Expendables than this.
Those movies suck. Those movies are trash. Don't wish that on me.
All right. With all the foolishness being done, let's get into our main topic of the show.
Let's go.
Which is our Creed 2 review. We're gonna do spoiler free for a little bit, then we're gonna dive into spoilers.
If we don't do what we love, then we wouldn't exist.
It's time, kid.
It's like nothing really matters to him right now, including me.
You gotta think real hard about this. So you got people that need you now.
I'm taking the fight.
Victor Drago, son of Ivan Drago, who infamously killed Apollo Creed, appeared today to issue a challenge to Adonis Creed.
Don't do this.
I ain't got a choice.
That's the same thing your father said, and he died right here in my hands. That kid was raised in hate. It's dangerous. He broke things in me that ain't never been fixed. It ain't worth it.
All right, let's get into his review. Let's let Ant go first since he's our guest. We're doing spoiler free, all right?
We're doing spoiler free.
Yeah, first, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting spoilers after.
I really like the first one. The second one was good, not great.
I agree.
Yeah, I kind of let y'all take the lead.
Okay. Well, yeah. As you said, I thought this movie was good. It was a competent. I hope I pronounced that right. Sequel, but I truly do miss Ryan Coogler. I recently watched part 1. And I watched part 2, and just the way that Coogler would do one shots. And you see the intensity with the scene with the one shot because the actor, they can't mess up. They have to do that all in one take, and then the camera angles that the director has to take as they're filming, and continue the entire shot. The intensity with Creed 1 was better than Creed 2. The sound in Creed 2 wasn't as good as Creed 1. Like the soundtrack and the music and the score for the film wasn't as triumphant as Creed 2, because there's the scene in Creed 2 and Creed 1 where he's running, and he's running in Philly, and you see all the kids they're riding behind him with dirt bikes, and then you see they all have their motorized vehicles riding behind them, and it's kind of like a scene where the city has them. Like part of Creed 1 that makes it like magical to me is that the city of Philadelphia itself is a character.
The first one you see him with the dirt bikes riding around with kids with the dirt bikes around him and shit, and that was dope. This one,
that was amazing.
See him riding around dirt. It's like, the dialogue in this one was not as at that level as the first one. The heart and the reasoning to the motivation of the why they were doing what they were doing wasn't as well textured. If you remember the first one, this one felt like they went more off of what he said in the last chapter of the first movie, and they just ran off of that, which is something that I felt like he already got over in the first movie.
Yep.
So for this to happen, it gave it a kind of an awkward feel to like what his motivations are to reasoning to making the decisions that he makes. While the action was nice in this movie, it looked nice, it looked dope when they sped stuff up and slowed it down, showed the nice slow-mo hits. That fights were action-packed. It didn't feel as consequential as the first movie, where any fight he was in, even in the gym where he was trying to get the trainer, it felt way more intense. This one, it felt like, oh yeah, he's fighting. Oh, that looked cool. You know what I mean? But the last soundtrack off of Childish Gambino and his team of people, when they made that,
waiting for my moment,
was way more impactful. Each track was done. I did like the piano solo that they did in this one. That one sounded great on some parts, but I felt it was overused sometimes. But the last soundtrack, they had so much to work with, even with the Meek Mill track, everything that they had mixed together. It was so much more impactful. But this was still, in my opinion, a really good movie that I enjoyed watching. Yeah, it's a good movie. You know, but it was the first one was better in my opinion. But this was good. This was a good one. It felt like it was it's like a bridge to make it a 3-part movie.
Now let me interject real quick. Now, so with the first Creed movie, his motives are, Creed is trying to establish his own identity, even though he ends up changing his name and taking his father's last name. Now, with this movie, it's like they rehashed that same storyline with him taking this fight because he really didn't have a motive to take it. He is a champion currently, and then this person just pops up. He doesn't have to he has nothing to prove. His dad wasn't really there, so he doesn't have anything to prove to his dad. So his motivations for taking the fight, to me, are a backstep in his character development. Also with Tessa Thompson's character, Bianca, her character took a back step to me as well because her character is she's very opinionated in the first film, and then the second film she's pretty much a yes ma'am. She's like, okay, yeah, Creed. The only person in his family that had some sense that would speak up to Creed when he's doing dumb shit was his mom. Mm-hmm. And I felt his wife should have been doing that, especially.
Well, his mom did basically just say, you know what, I'm done.
She basically she's like, you're a grown ass man. But like, even with his wife, she didn't really have moments like that. She's just like, you're my husband, I'm gonna support you. But me, like, I'm married and I have a spouse, and I know if I came home beaten and battered, my wife would have had some shit to say besides just look at me and close the door.
That's a very good. Can I say that's a great point. That she is kind of. I felt as if she was like a second. I don't know. She didn't really need to be in it. I guess to tell the story you had to tell her, but it didn't feel like she did a lot of heavy lifting in the first movie, and this wasn't the case.
She got some long ass fingers, man. I'm not sure if y'all noticed that. There's a scene where she's like holding his face, and them long ass fingers are like, they're like covering his whole face.
She like Venom.
Nah, she's like that chick from Men in Black 2, where she had them long ass fingers and there's like tentacles coming out of it. That's how Tessa Thompson's fingers are. She's still pretty though.
Some of the things looked cool and sounded cool, but it just didn't make much sense to why it was happening. Like, it had a part where he was in the pool and Tessa Thompson and his mom were talking, and anytime he'd go underwater, you'd hear them as if they were underwater also. I didn't understand why they were. It was kind of like confusing to why they would do it like that in that style. It looked cool, but it wasn't logical to the story of why it was happening. And that's a lot of the movie I noticed.
You can say that everything in the movie takes a solid step back. It's not a nosedive, but
yeah, no, it's not a nosedive, but it's
nothing is as good.
It felt like they wanted to get the fight to happen, so they had to just make padding to make that happen, and the whole thing was just for that fight.
Now let's talk about the Dragos, like Victor Drago. Mm-hmm. He never smiles. He has some character development. It's very little. I feel like we should have spent more time with them. They could have called this movie Drago and just focused on them, since we already know Creed's character and his development. It'd been great to see his dad borderline abusive. He's trying to run him over while training him. I wanted to see more of that. I wanted to see his dad maybe be an alcoholic, more of his relationship or lack of relationship with his mom. I want to see more of Victor's motivations for why he's doing what he's doing. Because throughout the film, all you just see is this angry Russian guy who doesn't smile, beating the shit out of people.
Yeah.
I think a better movie would where you do that, where Creed is the villain. It's the inverse of the first.
Yeah, do a flip.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say.
That's too smart. But
that would that would been dope. Do a little flip, call it Dragos, and you're just watching from their perspective.
The problem is, here's the problem: Michael B. Jordan is a gigantic star. What you're banking on is a very black audience. Like, I think you'd have a better movie, but it'd be harder to market it.
Hey, don't forget them white women. They love some Michael B.
You're right in a sense, that'd be a better movie, but I can also see why you'd want to continue.
They wouldn't have to completely flip. They could have did like Avengers where they gave Thanos a lot of screen time. Like the Dragos, they should have did like maybe like a not 50-50, but maybe like a 40-60.
I thought I was pretty satisfied. They had enough for me, but it wasn't. It definitely could have been more. And I also, I'm trying to make sure. I think the one thing you could say that was better is you could say that the villains were better. But that's more or less because it was already set up.
It should have been more of a Killmonger style, Black Panther style movie though. Like he should have been the Killmonger, the Russian guy. Like where you get to see him as a kid and see why he's so pissed. It should have definitely had more.
I think you get why he's pissed. I don't think.
Yeah, but he's too one dimensional.
Yeah,
I don't think he's one dimensional. I disagree.
He is. Yeah,
well,
he's too one
dimensional. Well, I think you'll find a lot of people are like that when they come from certain areas or they're exposed to certain things where they're not going to smile or they're not going to have like a lot of personality that they expose because of their experiences. And looking at who his father is, you know, it made sense that like if your dad was Ivan Draco and he's just been mad and drinking vodka all the time,
just bitter.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense that he didn't smile.
But it could have helped maybe seeing as him as a toddler, his dad being an alcoholic and just like festering on that loss.
I don't even think you need him to be. I think you get it though. Like you don't have to. It's like show don't tell. Like
I think more was needed for character development of Victor.
I got it. And they even had that scene with the mother where it was just like, yo, she left us. Like they had him be vulnerable and angry. But again, you're not going to get that too much from like, especially a boxer. But yeah, more Drago definitely could have helped the movie out a lot.
Absolutely, man.
And they did not justify the fight. I walked in and I was thinking like the first thing they had to do is, well, I didn't say this. I think Martin Thomas from Double Toasted said this, but I kind of agreed. You got to justify this fight, and they never really.
They never did. It's kind of just like at first it's like from my pops and like, nah, that's not the reason. Then he's like, fuck. He's like, let me look around. For my my pet cat. My cat.
I think they messed up by making him a champion, where it should have been like, all right, I don't have any validation just because I fought this. Just because I fought and lost to Ricky Conley. This is what I need to like people to really take me seriously. Or some other than that.
It is true. He did lose to Pretty Ricky, but Ricky did go to jail for 7 years, so the belt was up for grabs.
And also with Ricky, he felt like a real person.
But that's a real boxer.
No. I mean, okay, but the character, like the character felt real.
Yeah, and he's shit talking like a real.
And then Victor didn't really feel real. Again, that goes back to character development. You just have him scowling the whole film.
See, okay, I think him scowling the whole time is
because he's Russian.
No, smart. Because he's like miserable, and his dad is super angry, and like even Rocky was like, "Yo, you still on that?" And I even like where he explained it was like, "Yo, I was an Olympian, I was a hero, and I lost one fight, and now look at my life." And yeah, I think if it was something else, if it was a different, some villains should smile, and some villains should be kind of like Thanos can smile because he has a lot of humanity. He doesn't get to be a human. His dad is an asshole, and
But he is a human, so let the man be human. Add some humanity to him. Why not? Like, especially with the hearts with the mother issue, they could have pulled on some heartstrings with just a scene or two.
They already did.
I feel like we're gonna start getting into spoilers here. So if you
no, we're not gonna get into spoilers yet.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. We can get into specifics, but I definitely feel. I think you can argue that they could have done more, but I definitely did. They did do what you're talking about, where they had the mother in there, and there's moments where where that came up, and Drago has a really nice moment of character development that I won't spoil. Towards the end, which I haven't heard anybody talk about, that I thought was a great character moment.
Mm-hmm. I know exactly what you're talking about. Now, did you see? I guess this is a metaphor, but do you notice that he's wearing his dad's shorts, but they're torn?
No, I didn't.
Drago, Creed, yeah. Creed's wearing his dad's shorts, but they're torn. So is that like a metaphor for how he is emotionally or as a person?
Sure. I don't know. You gotta ask Stallone.
Yeah. That's how I saw it as. I was like, okay, it's torn. I was like, is he torn between?
And it's important to note that
maybe he's wearing his dad's actual shorts. Stank ass shorts from the 80s.
Nah, it's too small. I like how they mentioned. You know what's cool is that Michael B. Jordan and Wood Harris have that Apollo Creed jawline. I'm like, yo, both of these niggas look like his family. Like they did a really good job.
The casting for sure.
Because he has that strong ass jaw.
Did you guys notice the callback where between his first fight, Bianca she asked him, he's like, "Did you take a shit?"
Yeah.
Because in the first movie, he's like, "Oh, I gotta take a shit." He had to take his gloves off. I was like, "Oh, dang."
I also thought it was cute how she did it in sign language.
Yeah, so no one know that's what she's saying. Yeah, that was slick.
Yep. Stallone to me is a scene stealer throughout the whole film, like he was in the first movie. But, there's some controversy with that, and I'm gonna dive into that when we get into spoilers. I
gotta say, it definitely felt like, I mean, Stallone's always good, but he definitely felt like every time he showed up, they were like, "What are you doing here?" And I kind of felt the same way. It's like
I did too, and that goes back to him being the writer and writing. Let me stop. I'll save that for the spoilers.
But yeah, I mean, definitely felt like, dude, you gotta you either need to make this about Rocky and Creed again, or you need to have Rocky be a small part, not a co-star. Even though in the first movie, their companionship really pulled a lot. There's a lot going on in that first movie.
So who's his father figure then?
Rocky.
Oh, also, I gotta take
who's his North Star and his pillar.
Also,
to stand on?
I would say that
he has a new one now. He has a new one though now. We'll get into the spoilers.
I think it's also maybe that he feels like he never had a father, because you could blame that on Drago. Like, damn, he died. There's nothing to say that Apollo wouldn't eventually try to reconnect with him. If I had to try to follow the movie, maybe that's the logic. I don't know.
Let's dive into spoilers. All right, so rating wise, I'm between the 7.5 and the 8, but enjoyment factor, I'm gonna give it an 8. The overall film.
How you feel, guest?
I'm about right there. About right there.
Yeah, it's a
good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I think I'm wondering where because some sequels come out to a movie you love, and you're just like, yo, what is this bullshit? Why did they even make this? This isn't that.
No, this wasn't bullshit. This is great.
I love these characters. I'm like, is that doing a lot of the heavy? How much of the first one is doing the heavy lifting here? Mm-hmm. You know. I also want to note that I thought the director Steph Cappell Jr., whatever his name is, I thought he did a pretty good job. I didn't miss Ryan Coogler as much as
I missed Ryan Coogler.
I'm not directing wise, screenwriting wise, I missed him, because I think all the problems starting in with the script. Like,
yep. Dialogue, everything.
He can't sit there and do the one shot thing, because then he's just mimicking Ryan Coogler. Even though he did things I like they had the first person cam, the Drago cam, where he's just beating the shit out of Michael B. Jordan, and it was like, this is scary. Like, stop this. Like, I don't like this. I don't feel safe. That Joe was scary. And it wasn't all the time, but it was select moments, and you like, the fights were still great, and these are still the best fight scenes in boxing movies I've seen, because I don't know if it's because I care about the character, but I'm just find myself like weaving and bobbing and like wincing, and I'm not the person to make noise during the movie, but like I can't help myself. Like, they're so well done, in my opinion.
Theater reaction for me was people were going, ooh. Like,
yeah.
You know, like people were cheering when it was time to cheer. They were laughing at the jokes. The jokes were connecting. But yeah, it was a fun movie in the theaters for sure. So that's why I got to give it a solid 8.
People clapped, and I was like, "Y'all shut the fuck up! Why do you have to clap?"
Oh man, it's like when the plane lands and they start clapping.
Overall,
like, yeah.
Overall, we give it an 8. Yeah.
8, and it's great.
Yeah, I'd say check it out in theaters if you can.
Yes, definitely worth watching in theaters. It's
not for sure.
Mass film.
Support this one now, guys. Let's get into the spoilers. How about that?
Yes, I have a crazy theory, but I'll save that for the end of the spoilers. One point my wife made with Tessa Thompson's character, when they gave birth to their daughter, she said that it was a very missed opportunity for black females, because there's a disparity with breastfeeding for black women in America, and she thought it would have been great if they like alluded to, maybe her breastfeeding the child or having the child.
That would have been nice, but it's like, I had never heard of that, so it's like,
because we're men.
I can't blame. Okay, well, when they make Set It Off 2, they can put that in there, but this is Creed. I can't be mad if they didn't do that. Like, it would have been nice for sure.
My thing was guys are gonna be ducking and dodging girls who have hearing problems now, like a bunch of assholes. Like, I don't want my kid having that problem. You know what I mean? This might for those ignorant idiots might be like, oh man, my kid could turn out like that. I don't want to do that.
I thought it was. I really thought.
Powerful scene, man. I was like, oh shit, man.
It also, it's just like
spoilers
this
right now, so feel free to.
It's just like the son with Widow. I'm like, this didn't really go anywhere. It
That's
doesn't
exactly my point. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like, why did they even add that in?
I honestly thought she was gonna be deaf. I was like, that'd be my predictions for Rocky 2 would be they open with the fight with Wheeler.
Creed 2.
Creed 2. What did I say?
Is it Rocky 2? It's all good.
It's all good, man.
It's Rocky 4. Rocky 4 Part 2.
Yeah, there's Rocky 4 Part 2.
I definitely expected them to start the fight with Wheeler. Which happened. I was a little disappointed because I'm like, you really could have. Don't make it too easy for the motherfucker, right? Like, last time we saw him, he was like Rocky was the champion in the second movie. He had to earn it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just giving him that shit like at the very end, it's just like, there's nobody else better in boxing. Okay.
So it was Creed versus Wheeler. And Wheeler was the guy that went against Ricky in the first film, right?
No, Ricky broke his jaw.
Oh, okay.
Yo, I'm such a piece of shit. When he got the gift, the baby gift, I thought that was from fucking Drago and them. And I thought the card was gonna say, "I will break her too." I was like, because he was still calling up for a rematch. You know what I mean? So, but he had the kid. He was like, "Yo, he has to do a rematch, or he has to forfeit the belt." And then he picked up a baby gift. I was like, "Oh, motherfucking Dragos, yo, they're assholes."
That'd been funny.
Send a gift.
that was a direction they could have taken. That would have been like cartoon. I mean, the whole movie is kind of cartoonish. But.
Yes. Let's get this up. There's no way they're gonna let him fight Drago like that. Drago's like fucking 5 feet higher than him. He weighs like 40 pounds more than him. They wouldn't let that happen, and they would have done a drug test on this kid, and they would have been like, "Yo, what the fuck is this kid on? Mexican supplement?"
If they did a good job, it's that they made him terrifying. Like, I understand he might not be the most.
There's no way they're really gonna let that fight happen in real life.
Well, that's beside my point. But I'm saying, if you want to talk about like the villain, like. Yeah. At the very least, they made that motherfucking terrifying. Like,
he was, Bane. Man. He looks like he eats babies. That shit
scared me. He could have played Bane.
Yeah.
He was very good. He was extremely good.
Now, let's talk about that emotional scene. Like, I think we're both talking about the same thing where Drago, he's fighting and he sees his mom, and his mom's like, fuck this kid. And she's like leaving the match.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just see the look of disappointment in her eye, and him, he's just like, fuck, he's like, I've been fighting for her approval and she still doesn't care. She still doesn't care. So, you know, I feel like he gave up at that point.
That's the same look that Bridget Nielsen gave to Sylvester Stallone when she divorced him. You guys didn't catch who she was, did you?
Yeah, no, I caught it. I was like, oh shit, Red Sonja.
That's his ex-wife.
You get through context. Like, I heard somebody complain about you. If you won't see Rocky, you won't get it. I'm like, nigga, it's. No, what do you mean? It's
real life.
Oh, no, I didn't get that.
Flavor Flav's ting.
Yep, Flav was all up in that too.
Yeah.
Flavor Flav.
That was her?
Yeah, man.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's why she got a handsome face. She got a handsome face.
I'm leaving that one alone.
No wonder their son's a big old monster.
He really was. I loved every moment the Dragos were on, and I did get that emotional where he looked at her mom. I don't think that's why he started quitting. He started losing and then she left, but I think he was just like,
I think he was done mentally after that point.
I think it was like he can't lose because then the only way to validate him is if he wins. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, I can't let them be right, I thought. And then of course you have Drago throwing in the towel, which I thought was an amazing moment, a really good callback, and kind of hinted towards what the movie could have been more. But it was a very nice moment to me, in my opinion.
Should let son die in the ring like a man.
It just showed like what the movie's really trying to say is like the fight is really all in your head first. Like, it's not even about the size of the person; it's about what's going on in your headspace.
It's kind of like they really didn't justify that. Like, they didn't. it's like you guys didn't make this fight make sense. Like y'all really, and I don't think it could.
Look
and
cool.
If there's one thing
Definitely
I liked,
cool.
it was that everybody in his life was telling him like, "Yo, this is a bad idea. Like, what are you doing?" Like literally everybody, literally every single person.
So you're saying I could lose? No, nah, bro. Nah.
Yeah, he sounded like a.
You could die.
But you ain't gonna lose. You're gonna die. But you're not.
That's one thing I was like.
I was just like, yo, you just came off of a fight. Your body's not even fully healed yet. You want to jump in the next one? You think you're really gonna win? Like fighters only fight like once a year, if even.
Isn't it more? I thought it was more than that. Like once every 4 months.
No, I don't think fight. It's not when they do that. It's very, very risky. Like,
well, what happened? She had a baby.
9 months.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying. Look,
Yo, time went by so fast in that movie.
The time was right in the movie. That's the one thing for sure. But I'm just saying, like, from when he first beat the guy who got his car back when he lost his car in the first one, that the dude who signed to Jordan, that real life boxer, when he beat that guy, and then he fought Drogo right after. That time period was not. It was too quick. That was like what, 2 months?
You have to really pay attention to boxing to really know that, because that wasn't a problem for me because I didn't know.
I was like, that's way too soon. They legally wouldn't let him fight that quickly.
It is funny, and it's sponsored by like MGM and shit. So like, you'd think they'd be like,
that's a plot hole. You know what I mean?
No, it's not, nigga. Stop it. It's not a plot hole.
Wow.
That is not a plot hole. That is not a plot hole.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Tessa Thompson's character. Just being there, and they're forcing us to hear this whack ass music.
You know what? In the first movie, her songs are really good, and I thought one of the songs she played was really good. But the song she went out to, like with the entrance, I was like, "Ooh, this isn't good. This is actually kind of
whack, man." I was like, "That's why she's losing her hearing." That shit was trash.
I was like, "Is she hearing what she's singing?"
The first
song, she hearing that shit.
Yeah, man. Nah,
they should have just made her deaf. I think it would be so much more interesting if she was deaf. Like if that was the like, it's just, I mean, that wouldn't have saved the movie, but it would be like a dynamic to the movie, like, and add some realism, because there wasn't any realism. Like the first one felt like a real, like move, like it felt like it could happen. It felt realistic. It felt grounded. I'm like, it would be so much better. I'm like, so her hearing hasn't gotten any worse. Like,
yeah, they played it safe, man. Like Rocky was dying of cancer. She was going deaf. Like he had a lot of stakes.
Yeah, I thought her hearing was getting worse and worse in the first one.
It was, and then it took a break for this one.
Yeah, that Jones.
It hit the break so she could hit us with that whack ass music.
It went to her daughter.
Rocky looked stronger than ever in this one, man. He looked so much stronger than he did in the last one.
He shouldn't have been in that fucking movie so much, bro. I was like, yo, you need to know when to go, son.
I thought he was gonna die at the end of this movie, like to give some type of emotional impact.
Every time he showed up, they were like, "What you doing here, Rock?" It's like, yeah, what are you doing here?
He's like, I took a train. Took me 3 days.
They want that trilogy, man. They want that trilogy.
You keep saying trilogy.
No plot holes.
Let me get controversial. I'm about to get. Let's get controversial. So there's with the last Creed, when Rocky got it, well, Sylvester Stallone got those awards. He forgot to mention Ryan Coogler. And Ryan Coogler wrote the script, and people were saying that, he did that on purpose, blase, blase. Now, with this film, you could clearly see that Stallone took a lot of, writing liberties and wrote Rocky into the film. And you feel like that hindered the film since he did some writing?
Oh, yeah.
So you think that was ego-driven? Like, I can write better than Coogler?
No, I don't think it's like that, but I do think it's like, I mean, who's to say if we had the opportunity to write ourselves more into a movie, like, we wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to fault.
I'll put that ego aside, though, if I know my writing ain't up to par.
But you're, I mean, he's only human. Like, he wrote the first Rocky. He was one of the best parts about Creed. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not mad. Like,
going back to the first Creed, he was hesitant because Ryan Coogler approached him with that script, and he was hesitant in touching it because he said he wasn't sure how he could adapt that with this generation, and are some of those, some signs of him not knowing how to adapt. Seen in this film?
I've read worse screenplays. Like, it's not a bad screenplay. And matter of fact, it's only bad in the sense of we're comparing it to the first Creed. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, so I'm not going to even sit here. It's not like After Earth, where it's just like, right.
You in this After Earth movie.
Did I mention that again? What did I say about? When did I mention After Earth?
I think you mentioned it before, but that's a trash film, man.
I was just talking about Will Smith, and people were like, in Children of Toast, and people were like, somebody was like, Will Smith is the.
Yeah, we were on Facebook. We're talking about Ryan Reynolds is a white Will Smith.
I was like, Ryan Reynolds is way better, but okay. But when I look at that movie, I'm like, yo, you made this just for the own sake of making yourself look cool. I don't think that's it, but I don't think he had the most restraint because of he is kind of character. Like, it's hard to be biased. I'm not going to say ego because I do think that's unfair, but he definitely put himself in way too much.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Casey? How do you feel? You feel like he's rolled himself in there way too much?
He was in there a bit, but I kind of got it. It sold me because he's the father figure and the pillar and the one who's keeping the kid from not being a troublemaker like he was in the first movie at the beginning.
Well, why is he still doing that? Like, he grew, like, Adonis grew as a character by the end of the film. Why is he still acting like a jackass?
This whole movie is that question, though. I had that question this whole time, man.
Why are you being a jackass again?
Because it didn't make no sense. Like, why was he... I was like, this guy just needs therapy, man. Like, he doesn't need to be fighting anymore.
I saw it as raw emotion. Like, he's just emotional. There was I don't know if there's a way to make this movie work writing-wise. Like, I really don't. Like, I really don't understand without taking it to a cartoonish level where it's like, oh, Drago, like, killed his family or killed his mom or some shit like that. Like, without making it ridiculous.
How to make it actually believable work, right?
That he would do, that he would take the fight.
He spits on his baby.
He just couldn't, I couldn't think of a reason for him. Is the camera on?
Yeah. Spits on the baby. Yeah, look. Yeah, that'll be motivation to fight right there. Fuck you and your baby.
Russia. I can't think of the reasoning, man. That's $1 million question right there. Because they were like, yo, we're all the original Drago's still alive. So Stallone is still alive. Yo, you guys want to just make them fight a younger version of me? That'd be dope.
It's almost like they wrote themselves into a corner with that first one. They wrote themselves to a corner because his art was complete. I don't think there was any place to take that.
They were thinking of making a second one until they were like, yo, we do Expendables and the actor's still here. Drago's still alive.
And Dolph Lundgren is a great actor. It's good to have him in there.
Yeah.
I almost wanted to be in a Marvel movie, one of those whack comic book movies you hate so much. But he is so talented. And
Whoa. What did I say? I hate comic book movies.
You were like, it's good to see something besides those trite comic book movies.
I said trite.
I don't think you said
that
trite.
That word has never come out of my mouth.
Chase doesn't use big words, so there you go.
Yes, I do use big words, but trite is not one of them.
Bark is one of the biggest words we use.
No, okay. Wait till you cross the border, nigga. But anyways.
Yo, y'all about to throw some beer on me?
Yeah.
Get punished.
Some maple syrup.
Man's
drown you in some maple syrup.
Punished. Let's talk about that sketchy ass promoter, that buddy guy.
Yeah,
he was
weird.
magical. He was magical.
It felt like they were holding back on his character because they want to make a third movie, so they're gonna have him be more of the antagonist in the later on.
It was weird that he was in it and they gave him so much time. They really should. Maybe that is
satisfaction. You know what I mean? Like,
he's like, I gotta get mine. So he was a dude from Fences. He's like, I gotta play the music so I can get up out the bed every morning. Remember that? You ever seen that?
I never watched the new Fences. I watched the original with James Earl Jones, but I never watched the new one. I was like, I ain't trying to see no abusive black father. I was like, when you live in a West Indian family, like, your father's gonna yell at you like that all the damn time. I was like,
unless you guys said you're both, what did you say, Canadian?
Trinidadian.
Yep. That's so specific.
It is, man.
That's super specific. 2 unicorns.
Very, very specific. Hey, there's a lot of us, right, Casey? We're all over the place.
Right. I want some roti. I think I saw
roti.
Roti. What's that? Something you can take on the road? Roti boy.
That's like a white person?
Yes.
Yeah, you sound real cocky.
I want to try some of that roti.
You get that roti.
I'm gonna get a roti.
I remember my mom gave her friend some plantain, and he didn't know he's supposed to fry. He ate that shit like a banana.
Bro, I did that with an avocado. I tried to eat an avocado raw, and that junk, I was like, nah, I can't bang with this.
I can raw avocado. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
You just gotta let it get a little more ripe. That's all.
Okay, that might have been
nice. You're probably chewing it. It was hard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to let it get a little bit more.
And I didn't want to eat it anyway.
Savage Americans.
Who forced it down your throat, man?
I'm on a diet, and it's good for the diet, and everybody keeps telling me.
Ketogenics, huh?
Yeah. 20 days, like 14 days in.
Nice. 21 days into habit. You got this. Don't worry.
Yeah, I've lost a lot of weight.
All right.
Maybe Creed should on the keto diet.
Works,
man. He wouldn't have fucking.
Creed was buff, man. He was bigger than he was in the first movie.
I like how they mentioned how short he is, because it's true. Like, he got mad, but like, yo, it's absolutely true, bro. Like, you are tiny.
Michael B. Jordan's not that short though. He's like 6
compared to Drago.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
6'8".
You gotta look, but it's been like two of the main fights. It's the both endings. Like, the fight was like, how can he beat him in spite of his size? Like, he is kind of small, like relative.
But the movie's about it being a mental game, not really about the boxing fight. So that's,
I missed that.
Why. Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Was he was in his own head? He had to get himself out of it.
You giving the movie a lot of you having a movie long a lot. I didn't get that at all.
Wow, that's the whole movie.
I took it as that as well, because
why do you think he's sitting in the deep end of the pool?
He's trying to drown himself.
Yeah,
he's deep in thought.
Well, I think that's an aspect of the genre, because otherwise you get some boring ass movies if that wasn't a part of it at all. But I mean, I think I see what you're saying. I think it was, you have to let go of your anger, which is kind of like the point of the first one. But
they rehashed a lot of things.
Unfortunately, hell yeah.
Now, how do you guys feel about that training montage where he's in the desert, he's just beating up criminals?
That A$AP Rocky song is amazing. Also, they weren't necessarily criminals. That's kind of racist.
They're ex-cons. They look like ex-cons. I know ex-con when I see one.
I did like the tire fight, putting your foot in the tire. That was dope.
That A$AP Rocky song, when I heard that, that's...
You heard that, it brought back memories or something?
That I think that's just such an iconic A$AP Rocky, and I love A$AP Rocky. He has a lot of good songs. Not as many as that 6ix9ine guy, but he has a lot of good songs. And
how'd you feel about that Jaden Smith intro? That icon.
It's a good song, but it's not Hail Mary.
It's close, but it ain't it. It's this whole movie.
It ain't close to no Hail Mary.
It ain't it.
You're right, though. You're right.
He should have came out with like DMX or something. You know what I mean? Like,
something.
Came out with Icon Living, then he came out with his deaf wife doing I don't know what that was.
I'm on the phone.
Some Rihanna shit. I don't know what that was.
I'm on the phone.
But
it wasn't for me.
Yeah, it was cool. It just wasn't like, oh shit. Did this movie make you guys want to go hit the gym?
Yes.
Yeah, it made me want to work out some more, man.
It did its motherfucking job, man. That's what the first one did for me, for sure. I was like, holy shit.
It did for me, but I'm like within that goal. So the first time, maybe the first one does give me hype. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, man. The first one.
Yeah, the first one is like so intense and electrifying with the fights. This movie, I didn't feel the intensity, but the fights were choreographed well, and they were entertaining.
How'd you guys feel about the first fight?
I don't remember.
A throwaway fight, man.
I don't remember. It's so crazy because I remember the Tijuana. Maybe because I've seen him. Maybe that's not fair.
No, not the first movie.
What I'm saying is, I remember. What I'm saying is, I remember that first fight from the first one, even though that is like even less important than this fight.
When he was in the gym trying to get a trainer.
No, when he was
when he fighting the Spanish guy. And they're doing the one shot. You talking about that fight?
Yes, that fight stands out to me.
Yeah, it's a better fight than this one.
The other one, I'm just like, they were like, oh, he's old, doesn't matter. I'm like, maybe don't make him old. Make it like a good opening fight. Like, let's see where Donnie is now. And I felt like it was a waste of opportunity. And like the fight.
I feel like they made the fight and that happen in that way to show how empty it is, how much he doesn't care about really being the champion, and how empty it is. That's why it wasn't as epic as it could have been.
It didn't even feel like he was trying to be the champion. Like, it didn't even feel like a championship fight.
No, and I like that they did it like that.
Also, if Conley was like the champion, how did the belt go to Wheeler?
I think Wheeler was in second place. He was just injured or something like that. That's why he couldn't fight.
He broke his jaw.
Something like that before, because dude punched him, cheap shot at him. Remember in the
I remember
conference. So.
That's what okay. I don't know how boxing works, but I just thought that was weird. Like,
I agree with you. I agree. It's movie magic right there.
Because it's like okay,
he's second
champion.
place, I guess. So he. I don't know.
It just I don't know. They didn't really explain it. I also didn't like how they made him old. Like I said, that Tijuana fight, it's memorable. You know what I'm saying? Like it sticks. I shouldn't forget the fight. Like 4 days after I seen the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true. So,
any more
spoilers you guys want to get off your chest, or does that conclude it?
It's kind of like I wish I'd seen to be on the podcast. I wish I'd seen like a more memorable movie, more to say, because like it's not as good as the first one. I mean that kind of sums it up. It's still good though. I can't.
So I feel like this movie's in the shadow of Creed, just like Creed's in the shadow of Apollo.
I thought the movie was actually kind of meta in that I thought it was like Creed was a meta stand-in for the movie. Like, okay, Adonis Creed feeling like he has to stand up to the legend of his father was kind of like a stand-in for the movie, feeling like it has to stand up to the legacy of the Rocky movies.
I think it had to stand up to the legacy or the success of the first film, and the first film's overshadowing it because it was so good.
But that's what I'm talking. I'm talking about the first movie.
Oh, okay, yeah, you said the Rocky films. That's what.
Yeah,
the first movie, it was
Creed 1.
The subtext is that the filmmakers are sitting there like Adonis, like I want to live up to like these Rocky movies, which I thought was like a second. There's just so much good stuff in that movie. Like there's just so much going on. There's so much entertainment, and there's so many. It was like a. I mean, maybe Ryan Johnson. Ryan Coogler. He's one of my favorite directors, and maybe he's still underrated. Even though Black Panther was not that
that's
great.
his sophomore film. You gotta realize Creed was his second film.
What y'all think about his third film?
Black Panther?
Yeah.
Black Panther was a capable film. It was good, but due to budgeting with CG, it fell short at the end with the CG. But the message and everything was great.
I kind of feel like the same way about Creed 2, where I'm like, Black Panther was like, it's all good. It's not as good as like Civil War, but it's all right, or pretty good.
All right, y'all. I got some foolishness. Roy Jones Jr. says that he wants to fight Michael B. Jordan in real life after saying the actor couldn't beat him in real boxing. He said, I might be 18 years older than him, but I'll still knock him out cold, says Roy Jones Jr.
Probably would. Dude's just an actor. He says that all the time.
Okay. Here's Creed 3. The Creed 3 is about Michael B. Jordan trying to get validity as a celebrity boxer.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, that's way better. It's a way better movie. Pat myself on the back.
I was like, all these old head niggas about to jump out the woodwork. Yeah, that's just movies. That's just Hollywood, baby. He can't fight me in real life.
I didn't know he was that old. If he's that old, Michael B. Jordan might whoop his ass. I don't know.
Yeah, he's in good shape, man.
He beat Drago. The fact that he had to go up against that guy in the ring and not die, like that motherfucker is huge.
What I also liked about the first film, when he gets knocked out, that one scene where he gets knocked out at the end, he actually ate that punch, and that was real. Like, he got knocked the fuck out. That's dedication as an actor. I don't know if I would. I don't know if a check is big enough for me to eat a punch.
You know what? And Stallone got his ass whooped for that Rocky Balboa movie, so I know he couldn't complain to him.
Yeah, because he told him that. He's like, hey, when I did Rocky, I ate the punch. And he was like, that's what we do, but, it's up to you. And then Michael B. Jordan's like, I ain't no bitch. Got knocked the fuck out.
When he got knocked out in the first one, it was more iconic. It's not as good.
But that goes down to the directing and the camera work.
No, it also comes down to writing.
And writing, but
because
the camera work to me was better in the first one.
Well, it's Ryan Gosling's really talented.
Coogler.
Ryan.
He became Gosling. He became every Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Johnson.
Like I said, I don't want to besmirch him, and I feel like I don't think he's getting enough credit for making what I thought was a well-directed movie.
Absolutely,
but he's in those footsteps. He's the Creed to the Rocky being the first one, but I mean that's writing though, because in the first one, like at a point it was just like, yo, this is unrealistic. Like he would be dead. Like he would be. You can't come back from this. Like it turned into a straight up Rocky movie. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it wasn't impactful, because it's like, well, he should be dead. He had broken ribs like 8 months ago. He broke another rib. He should be done. That's why when he got knocked out, it was like, okay, well, he's going to win. It like takes the suspense out, I felt.
I think anything else? Because I wanted to touch on something real quick before we end the
predictions
podcast.
for the third one, if they do make a third one. Where do you guys think they're going to take it?
I literally
have no idea because I think they're gonna just rehash the same shit again. I don't know.
I think they're gonna redo it again.
Yeah, I really don't know where they're gonna go.
Like this movie was successful this weekend, so I could see them being like, okay, we need to do another one. You know,
Mr. T son shows up as Tyrone, and Tyrone says, "I slept with your wife, long dick style."
Here's what I would do if I was writing the movie. You know, I would have it. I would do what I said. Have Bianca be deaf. Have Michael Jordan be serious. That's what I thought. I thought it was going to be he was going to be injured, and that was him come back from injury. But I would have him getting hurt in the ring. He's accomplished enough. He basically quits to take care of his family.
He got hurt twice though in this film. The same ribs.
Yeah, which is fucking okay. That's what I'm saying. Like that, they did it like half-assed. They didn't like commit to it. But that's what I would do. You know. Just to give it something. I mean, you can't keep making these. They're not set up for it. I mean, I guess you could say the same for Rocky, but
yeah, they
did 5 of them.
Yeah,
they did 6 of them.
So yeah, I don't know. I
did 6 Rocky movies.
Making a third one. I don't know what they're gonna do yet, but maybe
I hope they don't
UFC.
Do it. I hope they don't.
Shit.
That's a movie.
Or they do a time jump with his daughter. Fighting people. She's a deaf UFC fighter.
Because some like this one was so televised, it honestly should have been a teaser at the end, like a Marvel teaser. Yeah. But the next one, I'm like, I don't know what they would do, and I'm scared because maybe it would be fresher, but like.
Honestly, I think it would have been dope if they ended it with Creed punching him and. They're like, throw the fucking towel in, and Drogo's dad's not throwing the towel in, and then they become Drogo's son and Creed become cool, and they're like, then you see like, remember how back in the day it had a boxing match between Creed and Stallone and Rocky at the end where they're like, we're gonna do that fight. Remember, you know what I'm talking about? Like it would have been dope if they were actually cool by the end of the movie, and they're like, you come to LA and train with me, man. You don't need this guy. He's an asshole. That's
a different movie though. Not for these kids. There's way too much.
Movie.
There's way too much bad blood to just be like.
I don't know if there was. It was
nigga. What? His dad killed his dad.
Yeah, I know, but he didn't kill his dad. His dad was a piece of shit. He's not the piece of shit.
Well, fuck him by association.
Yeah,
but that's that's a fuck up that they could have built on.
I'm glad that they didn't. I'm glad they didn't do that because when Pretty Rookie gave him props, it made sense. And if they did it then, it'd be like, yo, like, no, they
need to do something to mix it up.
He should have spit on his baby, okay?
Honestly,
on his baby.
I mean, they did.
That's all the motivation you need.
He slept him while he was down, which I thought was interesting. I thought that was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
It just became predictable, kind of, by the end.
Hell yeah.
I knew he was going to win. It was like,
all right, I know we could talk about this forever. I wanted to talk about one last thing. Did you guys hear that story about the American being killed in India because he went to some endangered tribe and he was trying to colonize them and he got shot with some arrows.
Right in time for Thanksgiving.
I was just about to say that.
Holy.
I don't feel bad for that guy at all.
Nah, me neither.
Yeah, man. Leave people fuck alone, man.
The niggas weren't bothering nobody.
He's like, let me tell you about Jesus Christ. Oh!
Why them? Like, why them? Why not anybody else? Like, why those specific group of people? Like, it's so annoying.
Leave the people be. The guy was identified, I'm not going to say his name, but as a 27-year-old from Alabama. And I guess he was doing missionary work. And,
I feel even less bad.
He just went out there and was like, hey, let me tell y'all a little about Jesus Christ while I colonize y'all. Oh!
Like, nigga, why don't you just go to like the inner city or like anywhere else? Like, it's just
play
weird.
Far Cry 4 or Far Cry 3. You can get that same colonizing experience as a tourist in another foreign man's land as you murdered natives. Because that's all you do in the Far Cry games. Far Cry 3.
27, I'm sure.
Far Cry 4 was. I'm about to say Far Cry 4 was like that's another Trump. Like you like. Like I said, it didn't take it long for. I think it's really easy to just be like, the story's kind of whack. Let me add some Trump. But
let's sprinkle a little Trump in there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm sure the 27-year-old was like vlogging it and shit too. Like, check me out, I'm here. I'm sure there's footage. I'm like,
oh shit! As an arrow going in.
I'm supposed to feel bad for this guy? Like,
on
no,
Snapchat or some shit.
There's an Eli Roth movie where there's a group of missionaries. They go to a village where the people are cannibals.
Cannibal Holocaust, right?
I forgot the name of it. It's like green something.
Eli Roth is trash. I'm so mad he's making.
Damn, what do you like? Damn,
You like nothing of such shit he makes.
Kendrick Lamar. You're not wrong.
Dialogue.
I like Creed 1.
Hey, like Creed 1. I give you that.
I always say things about like directors that aren't that good. Like let's not act like Eli Roth is like fucking Quentin Tarantino. Like as much as he'd like to be.
He wants to be.
Yeah, Kevin Smith, like, come on, son. These are like really flawed, peaking. It's worse when you peak, where it's like you get to keep making movies because you had one good movie.
Kevin Smith's hit and miss. Like he wrote a good Daredevil comic.
Oh, you mean writing? Okay, writing. I don't know.
Writing is good.
As far as comic books, I don't know. As far as
directing,
movies, he has 2 good movies.
Dogma.
Okay, maybe Dogma. I haven't seen Dogma forever. I would say Chasing Amy is a fantastic movie. I will never dismiss.
Mallrats. I was supposed to say Mallrats.
Is trash.
Y'all are crazy.
No, Mallrats is not good. With the shit pretzels. Come on, son.
I think you weren't in the generation at the time. You weren't outside when that movie first dropped.
You weren't shooting in the gym. All right?
You saw shit that came out that copied that shit. Probably then went back and looked at that like. I don't see what the hype is.
You tell me what copied Mallrats, please. Tell me. I've seen stuff that copied Clerks. Shit.
Mallrats is big too.
Clerks was good. Clerks was a good movie.
Yeah, Clerks is good. As I said, he's hit and miss, man.
Yeah, he's miss, hit.
Hey, man, it's the hits what counts, man. Shit.
If you say so.
not everything Michael Jackson did was a hit, but we remember the hits.
You just compared Kevin Smith to Michael Jackson. I'm
fucked up analogy, but I did it.
It really is.
I stand with my decision.
I'm like, what good movie has he made? This was about this is like the Will Smith of it. I'm like, what good movie has he done in the last?
Hey, man, the Will Smith of. We can talk about that real quick. Ryan Reynolds, Will Smith.
Ryan Reynolds is better.
But Will Smith came out swinging though.
There's something
when he left Fresh Prince, he had Bad Boys hit. He had Independence Day, another hit. He had Men in Black.
Trash.
It was a hit though, great. And you enjoyed it when you were a kid. You were clapping.
Independence Day was not trash. Are you crazy? That was great back in the day.
This isn't like
great.
It had so much fucking movies that are just like it.
It didn't age well.
Now it didn't age well when you look back at it.
But now his first bomb
was an epic fucking movie.
Was Wild West. Wild West is when the shit started getting a little shaky.
I don't really have that kind of thing where I look at things like outside of like I try to like, of course, accommodate for like the special effects are still good. Like that's not it. I'm not sitting there like, oh, the special effects look. Those special effects are still amazing, but that shit was cheesy and goofy and like.
And you enjoyed it, and you were.
I never enjoyed. You guys stop speaking for me. I enjoyed watching Independence Day in my life.
All right, let's move on with his portfolio. We have Ali was pretty good. Legend of Bagger Vance, I was not a fan of. He was just a magical Negro.
You skipped over the one where he was getting fucked in the ass, but okay.
Which one was that? Oh yeah, that was
That's what started his whole acting career.
Yeah, 6 Degrees of Separation.
In the movies.
That's when Doogie Howser was giving it to him that one, but that built him as an actor.
Look, what has he done in the last 10 years that's been good? Go.
Instagram.
That's in there.
Instagram, okay.
Hancock?
He's killing Ryan Reynolds on Instagram, that's for sure.
Hancock was not that good, but okay.
Concussion, he was an African, he said, tell the truth.
Say the truth. When's the last time have you ever seen Concussion?
He was an anchor man, he was an ESPN reporter.
You're fucking reaching. Stop it.
So you like Ryan Reynolds more than Will Smith? That what you're saying?
You know, it's like funny that Ryan Reynolds doesn't even have a good. They're almost like the same guy, but in reverse. Where like now Ryan Reynolds is doing good movies, and then back then Will Smith had good movies. I think my problem with Will Smith is he doesn't have any range. I mean, he like.
But Ryan Reynolds plays like this frat boy white dude all the time.
Well, he was also in a rom-com. He does rom-coms.
Like Buying the Cow. I remember him. That's the first time I saw him.
He was in Definitely Maybe, which is a great movie.
Smoking Aces. He was just there being a frat boy with a gun. Blade Trinity. He ruined the Blade franchise.
He ruined the Blade franchise?
Where Wesley Snipes just locked himself in the trailer because he didn't want to be around Ryan Reynolds. He couldn't stand him. The script was
really
trash. Yeah, you gotta look back to the story.
It's funny. You said that he ruined the Blade franchise, and you say the script was trash. I think the script is what killed the
script. The thing is, the problem was the producers were trying to mess with the script, and then they shoehorned Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel's character in there, and Wesley Snipes was contracted to do the film, even though he didn't want to be in the film. So the whole time he made them refer to him only as Blade. And he wouldn't talk to Ryan Reynolds because he said he was like annoying. Prince? I don't know. He was being an ass and he would just smoke weed all the time. But he didn't want to be in the film.
Formerly known as Prince. Yeah, he might have fucked himself with that.
Hey, Blade's still up on the table for him to grab because Marvel has the rights for
Van Wilder was great. That was a
Here's what I'll say though. He's fantastic as Deadpool, and Deadpool isn't just wisecracks and like meta references. There's a lot of nuance and a lot of raw emotion that he brings out of that character. A character that didn't have to be written as well as it is. And he also co-wrote Deadpool 2. And Will Smith has not like co-written a good movie in his fucking life. So if you want to say,
he used to rap though. He had a music career. So
hey, Ryan, he got Ryan there. He's got Ryan there for sure.
Let me look at Will Smith's writing credits. He has 3. He has After Earth, which was trash. He has an episode on Fresh Prince. And then he also worked on that show All of Us, where it was kind of like a loose depiction of his life with him and Jada and his ex-wife and the family kind of being a blended family. Didn't last that long.
That was a good show.
So, hey, you enjoyed his writing.
Bam. How much of that did he write, though?
So he rapped and he wrote?
Oh, he wrote 81 episodes.
Dang.
So, in your face.
Okay, look. That show wasn't
on IMDb right now.
That show wasn't Breaking Bad, all right?
It wasn't Breaking Bad.
Let's not act like he wrote The Sopranos.
Let's look at the Ryan Reynolds writing credits. You might have
Deadpool
more writing credits.
Kind of. I feel like you could just write it like Deadpool 2, definitely the main one.
He has Deadpool 2, and then he has Deadpool No Good Deed. He wrote that short.
That was a funny ass short.
So he has 2 writing credits. I don't know. Will Smith wins this battle for me.
Will Smith. I can't blame anybody for saying that, and especially you guys being.
And I'm black.
Of a different genre. Yeah, I don't figure that in. Sorry.
And I'm black.
But I mean, it's not like Ryan Reynolds. Like both of them, I think are like range wise, they're definitely very like limited. But,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, very
Will Smith is worse, and it's also he's had more bites at the apple, than Ryan Reynolds. But like Will Smith literally plays like the Will Smith every time, and when he doesn't, it's just Oscar bait garbage. Like
Collateral Beauty, or I think was the Oscar bait trash.
What was that? It was 7 pounds.
The 7 pounds. I hate that film.
Which is like the worst. It's like a really bad.
I was like, what man go kill himself with a squid? I said, what?
I think
I'm so mad.
It was some Home Alone like Rube Goldberg type shit. Like,
no, yeah. He put himself in the bathtub with a squid. I said, my man, that's the way you want to go?
I think it was so he could preserve his organs.
Nah, man. He's like, I love you so much, you could literally have my heart. Nah, I'm good.
What did he do in that movie? I forgot what he did.
He gave what's her name? Actress from he gave her his heart. Like, you got a bad heart? I know a good one.
His mind.
A bunch of his organs and stuff to different people.
Yeah, man, I would have went on a murdering spree and gave organs that way. I ain't about to kill myself. Yeah, I would have Dextered that shit. It would have been a whole different movie.
In the last decade, Ryan Reynolds has got it. Let's be honest.
Smith is older, okay? He can't take them roles like he wants to. He's a family man. He's on Instagram, okay?
Will Smith can do any project he wants.
He can. He's getting older. Man's 50 years old. Doing Bad Boy 3.
It is
about to be geriatric as hell.
He needs to kind of grow as an artist. I think he hasn't. Like, you look at Denzel, he's directing now, look at all these other kind of his caliber actor, you'd hope he would grow, and he hasn't. And I'm looking forward to him, doing some other different stuff, hopefully.
Yeah, but he was a rapper turned actor. Like, what other rapper turned actor is as good as he is?
Mark Wahlberg.
Career wise.
Mark Wahlberg don't count. Mark Wahlberg was doing hate crimes.
Nah, man.
All right.
Look, if we're gonna act like popularity equals quality, then yeah, Will Smith is like.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying someone.
Mark Wahlberg plays the same confused person.
Yeah.
Every film.
Yeah, I'm not. He's not great either. Wait, no, he said. Yeah. He said rapper actor. Riz Ahmed is really good too. He's a rapper.
I don't know who that is.
Who?
That's the I don't want to say something fucked up. He's the dude from the Middle East. No. I don't want to be ignorant. He's a dude from the Middle East from Star Wars Rogue One.
That guy's a rapper?
Is he the bad guy in Venom?
Didn't we get into it over rapper Charles Gambino? That's right.
Yeah, what about him? What did he do?
We got into it because we were talking about no. It wasn't him. It was Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah, he ain't no real rapper.
That
shit he did on the Breakfast Club was trash, man.
Oh, that's what you're talking about?
No. Okay,
we were talking about what makes a real rapper because I was like Eminem's a rapper and he got awards for 8 Mile. I think was the argument. I don't know, something real.
No, it was because he got in trouble for his words. He said the F word and he apologized. And I was like, he's an actor. He should prioritize that and know that he shouldn't use that word. And you were like, he's a rapper actor. And I was like, what do you? I was like, no, he's not, nigga. You were like, what is he? What do you associate with him? Rapping or acting? You were like, both, nigga. And I was like,
no. The argument was that, but then I said Eminem uses the F word all the damn time. I was like, and he acts every once in a while.
But I was like, he's not an actor.
Well, he's not actor. I understand that, but still, I feel like Eminem is like Teflon, like Donald Trump. He could say and do whatever, and he gets away with it. Tyler the Creator too. He's another one that.
When was the last time you saw Eminem in a movie? That wasn't funny.
Shit,
people.
The interview, where he came out as gay in the interview.
He hasn't played a character that wasn't Eminem in like 14
He was Marshall
years.
Mathers, okay? He wasn't Eminem.
He was B Rabbit. Yeah, I know. He was in
Marshall.
8 Mile. He was in 8 Mile as B Rabbit, and then that was literally. It played Eminem twice.
Well, I'm gonna watch a bunch of rappers acting on Love and Hip Hop New York this Monday. I'm not gonna lie.
There's a bunch of yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna definitely be tuning into that. Joe
That's some old head shit. I ain't never heard that shit in my life.
Love and Hip Hop New York. You don't know what that is?
Nope.
VH1. Jeez. All right.
It's 6ix9ine.
No, it's trash.
6ix9ine on there.
Dumb trash.
They got the blicky with the icky on there.
Oh, so you know what he says?
See, deep down you are a fan.
I never said I was a fan. I know.
Yo, Ant, I completely forgot. Eminem was in The Wash. Remember that movie?
Oh, with Dre and Snoop.
That was before 8 Mile though. So
see, look, the acting credit goes back to 01.
That's my point.
Trash he was doing in that movie, man.
He was great in that movie. He was a crazy white dude that just kept calling in. And he'd be like, "I'm gonna kill you."
He was punching the drywall.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
It's great.
He was punching the drywall.
The acting is there, okay?
He was like, "My mom's such a bitch. I'm gonna shoot the Wash."
Wash was good. That's an African American classic.
No, it's not.
Paid in full.
That movie seemed like it was that after. That was definitely after Friday.
That was 2001. Yeah, it was after Friday.
Absolutely, man.
It was
Fake
like
ass Friday.
Decade after Friday.
You didn't realize how like iconic Friday was until they kept trying to make it 50 times, like the same 3 people.
I
They're
completely
trying to
agree.
bring it back out. Yeah.
They shouldn't. They really shouldn't. They should just do something new.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's the name of the game with anything, but it's like you can't. Some movies are like, I think Christopher Cox said this from Spill. He was like, movies like Clerks and Friday, like the whole appeal is just 2 guys sitting there chilling, and these crazy things happening around them. You can't replicate that. You can't actively try to like make that because you'll fail every fucking time.
So what came first, Clerks or Friday?
Pretty sure. I don't want to say.
I'm not sure either.
Clerks was
one
black
jacket
and white.
from the other?
No, I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
Clerks was 94.
I think sitting around. I think that kind of movie is sitting around on your porch.
Low budget type of movie.
Sitting around on your porch is like anybody can relate to that, and sitting at your job with the work buddy, you can relate to that. So I don't think. Yeah. I don't think it's a matter of...
So Clerks was 94 and Friday was 95, but we don't know how long Ice Cube was writing that script.
Let's not sit here and act like Ice Cube has ever seen fucking...
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah,
I know.
Hey, man. Hey, he could have been a big Kevin Smith fan. We don't even know.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a big Kevin... Well, I don't want to say that. He's got his...
Hey, we're about to get some hate mail. Yes, there is, and I'm wanting them I'm his biggest fan.
A lot of overlap between the incel Reddit group and the Kevin Smith fan club, I think. But people love him though. People like it's like the fewer of a fan base there is, the more rabid they are. Like, don't talk shit about Kevin Smith. He wrote Clerks 20 years ago.
Classics. Yeah, they follow it's a cult classic. That's what they call
Yo,
it.
did y'all realize that Felicia from Friday was the mom on Cousin Skeeter?
Nah, I never seen Cousin
Yo,
Skeeter.
you know how old I am, nigga? I don't know what that. I don't
You
remember
watch
that
Cousin
show.
Skeeter? Man,
I didn't watch it enough to
I
really
watched
like,
that shit heavy because Megan. That was the first time I was introduced to Megan Good, and she had a big gap in her mouth, and she didn't have the braces yet. And the gap did something to me. I was like, okay, I see. I had my young mind wandering.
I used to get off of school when I was like in second grade.
Get off watching Megan Good?
No, nigga. And one of the first things that would come on, it was like, I don't know if it was Toonami at this point, but Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z came on after school.
Yeah.
And Sailor Moon was definitely when I first started to like women. Like those 2D girls, man, they just do something to me.
I ain't about to draw no picture and whack off to it. I want the real dude. Because I went to a Comic-Con, the guy's like, I was looking at pictures, like, superheroes and stuff. He's like, I got the good stuff in the back. And there's all this, like, pornography, like, cartoons. I was like, I ain't about to jack off to something I could draw myself. Draw that my damn... about to have a lit night, about to draw a picture and jack off.
You know, you're lucky that's all he brought. That's all he showed you in the back. Sounded creepy, Louise.
He's like,
bring you to the back of the store.
He just has, like, he has like, the Kevin Smith. He has the the trench coat.
Yeah.
In a hat.
Got some chains and shit.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're just browsing and sometimes the hentai just pops up.
That ain't for me, man. I want to see the real deal. I can't be watching no cartoons. I draw my own picture and whack off to it if I need to. Oh, sir.
You gotta be resourceful.
Damn right. Shit. I think this concludes this podcast. I don't know what else we can talk about.
I think it does.
Besides me drawing pictures and masturbating.
Every podcast I'm ever on just turns into like this bizarre, like just off topic.
Good. That's good. That's what podcasts
it's not
are.
unique to me at all. I just have all these thoughts I have to get out because I have nobody to talk to. So it's like, y'all just want to hear me.
You
talk
think in
about
Castaway he wasn't drawing pictures and whacking off to it?
What do you think the beach
I don't
ball was
know.
for? Think it was just for his conversational skills?
No, he'll turn Wilson away. He's like, "Look away, Wilson."
I love that
How
meme
you think the
where
hand
it's
mark
like,
got on one side?
I like that meme where it's
Gripping
like
it so hard.
It's like Tom Hanks in all his movies, and it's like you can't travel with this nigga nowhere.
Yeah, he's
like,
always crashing or something bad's always happening to him.
I'm like, damn, son. Him and Matt Damon.
Can't trust Matt Damon.
Yeah, Matt Damon.
Matt Damon's he's a good actor, but
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he said some really problematic stuff, but it's like he's a white dude from Boston, so like how
We'll give him a pass.
We gave Walt Marburg a pass, so I guess
I ain't give him no pass, man. Fuck him. I still watch his movies. But deep down, I know that he blinded the Asian man.
That is messed up. It is crazy how he did.
God, that's such a fucked up story. Just beat the guy till he went blind. And he's been trying to get those charges. Being white, let my black ass try that and start a movie. Let Will Smith try that.
White. Like I'm fine. I mean, that's like the thing with Temptation, where he was like, he's trash, and I'm like, he was trash. He was a kid, like he was trying to improve himself. And
but
Mark Wahlberg,
black people, we don't have the opportunity to get a second chance. I'm sorry.
He did. He did. The block just wasn't having it. He was caught him in traffic. He got opportunities.
Double standards, man.
You know what's funny? I was talking about that. How like the only person who's really gotten their career ruined by like rape allegations really is been Bill Cosby and like
Mike Tyson.
Nigga, Mike Tyson has a TV show. He's been in 3 Hangover movies.
Yo, remember that guy in Toronto?
Dead
remember that guy from Toronto tried to come up with him and come to him and say, "Hey, former rapist Mike Tyson."
Like,
Mike Tyson's like,
piece of shit, you know?
"Hey, piece of shit, yo,
fit,
a real piece of shit,
fucking cuck."
What's he talking about? He's like, "What do you want to talk about?" He's like, "I want to talk about how you a bitch."
I love that
guy
shit.
in a liquor store like a couple of years ago, and everybody's just shaking their head at him. Like, why you guys say that to Tyson?
Really?
Yeah. Man.
So you saw him the other day?
Not the other day, a couple of years ago, when that shit first happened. I think he lives out in these areas.
Bird.
My shit's falling apart.
It's falling apart. What's going on?
Are you hearing?
Oh, you just loaded
It's
up.
echoing in my ear now.
Echoing in my ear.
Can you hear it?
No. At the end of the day, he is the mayor of the city. Mike Tyson.
Let me get to the good stuff.
Really dynamic character. Right, so that you read up on him, you sort of would follow him because he's negative, and you're being negative.
Let's get to the good stuff right here.
You were a convicted rapist. This could hurt his campaign. How would you respond to that? Hey, I don't know who said that. You're the only one I heard say that. You know what I mean? And I don't have no comment to that. You know, because he's negative.
See, he was trying to be positive.
And I met the mayor, and nothing they can do about it.
We actually had a really good time. We talked about George Cervallo.
Mike's like, I'm gonna fuck you up.
In your city, great man with whom Mike spent quite a bit.
Can you guys hear this?
Yeah.
About his life,
Yeah, when I talk to echoes.
I'm sort of like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey, with that comment.
You know, we're doing live TV.
I don't care. What you gonna do about it?
All right, you got a show that you're doing tonight. We are. You know, a lot of people.
I would got disrespectful. Show your wife my dick.
Be there to see your show. Just tell us a bit about it.
You know, it speaks for itself. Everyone saw the show.
All right, it's a Broadway production. It went to Vegas.
Breathing hard too. He's just panting like a dog. He's ready to fuck.
And we're really, really proud to bring it here. And we're actually going to Monaco on October 9th. We're going to be in Monte Carlo.
Right. Is it nerve-wracking for you to do something like this, or is it more nervous for you to box?
How does it compare?
I don't know. It's more nerve-wracking for me to hear talking to a rat piece of shit like you.
He didn't even think about that joke though.
We're gonna wrap up this interview. Thank you for coming.
His face at the end became a meme.
Sadness.
You said, what you gonna do? Like, you gonna talk shit to Mike Tyson? I'm not.
He thinks he's slick though. He tried to slide it in there like it was okay.
He's like, I'll show you, rapist.
Till you love me. That had to be the wildest. That had to be the wildest Mike Tyson I ever heard.
He's brave, because I would never bring that up to Mike Tyson. I'm like, you've been accused of loving puppies too much.
All types of. I would accuse him of everything. Like, yeah,
had nothing
separate
to do with what he was talking about, anyways. Like could have been.
I heard your
controversial back. You had controversial past. Our mayor has a controversial past. You know what I mean? He could have said some shit like that if he wanted to bring in the relatable smoke. You know what I mean? But he had to say like.
Mike called him a rat piece of shit, man. I felt that. A rat piece of shit.
That's wild, bro.
I love that. Let's end this podcast. We're gonna be talking for hours. Oh, so this concludes our podcast. This is Akil.
This is Case.
This is Stokes.
Let's let the folks know where they can reach us. All right, Bacchanal Podcast. We're everywhere, baby.
Yes,
all right, we're on iHeartRadio. We're on SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, Spotify. Just search the Bacchanal. That is spelled BACCHANALS. You can email us at thebacchanalsquad@gmail.com. On YouTube, we are on YouTube finally. Just search The Bacchanal. Again, that's BACCHANAL. And anything you want to plug? You have a YouTube channel now, right?
Yeah, I don't have any videos up though, so don't call me blurred.
Listen to Ant be grumpy on Don't Call Me Blurred.
Say things are trash. It's trash.
I'm actually gonna lean positive, but sure.
Ant is my favorite asshole.
Yeah, man. Welcome back anytime, man.
Hey, it's true. And Ryan Reynolds is better than Will Smith, according to Ant.
When you say it like that.
We're going to leave on that note. We're going to end the podcast on that.
Okay.
We are. All right, this concludes episode, was it 62?
62, yeah.
62 of the Bacchanal Podcast. Peace.
Peace.